All right, and welcome everybody to the RF Generation Collectorcast. My name is Duke. I'm glad to be talking to everybody today. Joining me, a man that has so many awesome friends that they just fly across the country to see him. Crab Master, Krabby.
Hello. I've only got one friend that's awesome enough to do that.
Oh.
Hint.
But Fleech came to see you, right?
He did, yeah. It was an awesome visit.
You guys spent a week together, like a bromance.
Crashed on my couch, not really my spare room, for a week. Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Did you count your games after he left?
Every night before bed.
Lock the glass case, right?
Yeah.
And then the voice you hear is a man where no one will travel across country to see him.
Very few people
Bill.
have ever done that. No, a few have. A few, people just meet me in Philly when we want to, meet up at a place.
I know. I saw you last year. I'm kind of feeling bad that we're going to miss it this year, right?
Yeah, no, it's. I talked to Rustley Man at a couple nights ago. There was an event at the store that he works at, and he said he is probably going to head down to Too Many Games this year. He's got his Mario Kart. He's got some new additions to it. He put a Donkey Kong barrel on the top of it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he did a tutorial how to make them. He's got one in the store. So I think he said he's going to be down there on Saturday. So if anyone's going to be there, you can't miss him. You can't miss the car, and you'll know him when you see him. So, but yeah, I'm not able to make it. My son's 12 weeks old, and Duke's got one just about the same age. So probably, as fun as it would be, I don't think our wives would appreciate the, honey, I'm going to take a weekend off.
Right. Yeah, it's a little bit of a long drive for me, too. So hopefully next year we'll be able to get together and do it again.
Yeah.
Certainly hope that's happening. But yeah, Russ, he sent me a text actually last night saying that he is going, and he's going to be nice enough to track down that homebrew release that's there for me. So very nice of him to do that. I told him I appreciate it. And also, I think Neo Magic Warrior is also going again this year.
Yes, yeah, who we met last year.
Yeah.
Cool dude. We played some tabletop games, even though Duke refused to play anything resembling a non-video game.
Ain't no 10 Tinder tapes in that.
Yeah, but, we had a cool dude, and I there is a thread on RF Gen if anyone's curious about any forum members who are going. There is a thread on RF Gen about who might be heading to that show. It's in the greater Philadelphia area, so not downtown Philly. It's kind of in a suburb of Philly, so it's not too bad if you can make it down there. It was a cool show.
Yeah, too bad the show will be out by the time the show will be over. By the time we release this episode.
There is that.
It's that whole time-lapse chronology thing. So
I wonder if Russ had a good time.
I don't know. I'm sure hopefully we'll find out if he and Neo Magic Warrior had some fun together. But I miss it. And it figures, I was telling you, this is, we don't go this year, and they're having a burlesque show this year.
Yeah.
What? What?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Is this a cosplay burlesque show?
Yes, it is. They said, come watch Princess Peach strip and stuff. I'm like, what?
It's not really her.
Oh, well, okay. That would be creepy.
And when I think of burlesque shows, it could be really cool and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of campy and everyone's just having a good time and just kind of very silly, or it could get really serious and really weird.
Right.
So I kind of am wondering which version of the show it is before I agree to go to something like that. But I don't think they sell DVDs.
My thought was you're going to have several hundred sweaty nerds all packed into a building.
Hey, we prefer the term mouth breather.
Oh, sorry. All right, and just a couple things to point out here, like we always do. So a couple different places you can find us. Krabby, where can people find us if they want to?
The award-winning podcast Pickle.
Yes, I don't know. If we had a time machine and we could go back to podcast Pickle in its prime. Bill.
That would be my first stop.
Oh, if you could only go back to 2006, the first thing you would do is look up podcast Pickle.
Yeah.
Bill, where else could people get us?
Just come to rfgeneration.com.
Yeah. You can chat with us. You can jump into the show thread. You can let us know how wrong we are or how wonderful we are, whichever you like. That's fine. You can also catch the show on iTunes right? Download us from iTunes. Krabby, where else?
The YouTube.
Yes, YouTube, which really misses you, I think. It must send you like daily emails.
I recently got an interesting contact through the YouTube channel, so I might elaborate on that further in the coming shows.
Foreshadowing. Bill, a couple other places. Where else?
Facebook and Twitter.
Yes, you can talk to us, or me mostly, but I will make sure the other guys get the message.
But my last job, I sat at a computer largely unbothered all day and did lots of stuff remotely. My new job is much more hands-on, so I'll admit I haven't been on the Twitter feed in a long time, but I do check the Facebook every now and then, and a lot of cool, funny stuff going on there.
Yeah, and I can always pass the message along if I need to. So feel free to talk to us that way. We appreciate it. And then Stitcher, right? You get us on Stitcher smart radio app, and Podomatic. There's a Podomatic app, so lots of different places to find the show. We appreciate you guys tuning in.
Collectorcast.com site.
Why? And if you have some magical, RSS feed reading podcast app, you can use that site, right?
Yeah, anything with any podcast app that just wants the RSS feed, just throw collectorcast.com in there, and that's where the RSS lives.
And I want to say again, speaking of Russ, I want to thank Russ. Russ made a donation to the show. So
nice.
Thanks, Russ. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that.
It was nice.
And kind of returning again from last show, we've got some questions from Twitter that I'll throw out here. So,
did they like our answers from last time?
I hope these are good.
We didn't get yelled at, so I think they must have been all right. First, I got a couple from Sir Psycho Plays. So at Sir Psycho Plays. These are gonna be tough. The first question, what's the best 8-bit licensed game? And I think when he says licensed, he means like movie license.
Oh,
okay. Okay.
So, Bill.
Sure, fine. Come to me first.
Okay, I'll start. How's that?
Okay.
Batman.
Oh, that's a good
NES
one.
Batman.
That is a good one.
Is really fantastic. It's a tough game, but I remember getting that one back when it came out as a kid and loved Batman. So that would be my pick.
Yeah, it's a great game.
It's a good pick.
I want to say RBI Baseball.
That's not
because it's licensed by Major League Baseball because they have real player names and team names in it.
It's cheating.
I don't know if that counts though. So
Krabby?
I don't want to say one that's like too obvious, but like my first thought is DuckTales.
Oh no, that's a really good
pick.
one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. You're leaving Crab with nothing.
No, I got two.
Oh, okay.
For different reasons. One of them's multiplayer, one of them's single player.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right?
solid game.
Yeah.
Only one notch behind Back to the Future 2 and 3.
Hudson Hawk, right? Hudson Hawk.
If I'm playing by myself, Die Hard is one of my favorites.
Really?
Oh,
Die Hard's really cool and like multiple endings and just tons of different stuff to do every time you play it. You don't usually see NES games with a lot of replay value, so that one's really cool to me.
You get to drop a German guy off a building?
You do, yeah. And if you're playing with some buds, it's got to be Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, 4-player.
Nightmare on Elm Street is so much fun on that game. It's like New Super Mario Bros. Where everyone's stealing each other's power-ups and jumping on each other's heads and falling off cliffs. And it's tons of fun.
It was cool before anything else was, right?
Exactly.
Those are some good picks. I think that was a good question. So
that was a good one.
He hit us with another one. Sir Psycho Plays asks, best NES trilogy. And at first I was kind of like, there's not very many, but
yeah,
I know
there's like 20 or 25 trilogies on there, depending how you define trilogy.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In some cases, some quadrology. So, yeah. But, okay, well, guys, shoot, go for it.
Trilogy.
Two big ones for me. I'll go two again. Adventures of Lolo trilogy. Love them.
Lolo.
I actually played Lolo just the other night, last night, for the first time. I'd never played Lolo.
Really?
And I don't know why, but I thought it was a platformer.
No.
And it's totally not. And it took me a while to kind of like understand like what I was supposed to be doing. And then when you get that last like, you know, heart or life piece or whatever, then the guys come alive. And then I'm like, oh, I need to box those guys in so then they can't get out and get to me. So it actually had quite a bit of like on your feet like problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting. I'll probably pick it up again. I only got to like the second or third level because we had to like run out and go somewhere. But I don't know why I thought it was a platformer.
That's hard. Those are hard. Hard games.
They are, yeah. My other trilogy would be Wizards and Warriors.
Even the third one?
Yeah, even the third one.
Those games always struck me as a little janky. So I just, I don't know.
Fabio makes up for all the jankiness you can, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we played the crap out of the first one when I was a kid. We never could beat it, but I mean, really played that thing to death. But no, Wizards and Warriors, that's a pretty good trilogy. Yeah. Bill, any thoughts?
I know what yours is, like to a T, so I don't know why we're...
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, we'll see, mister.
Yeah. Even though I'm not great at them, and even though, you know, there's a lot of people who, like, you know, 2 is debatable, I'm going to go with Castlevania.
Really?
Yeah.
2 is debatable.
I really love the first one. I really did enjoy the second one, even though it's a different type of game. And then 3 kind of brought it home for me. So I'm going to go with those, even though
I'm surprised there wasn't another RBI shout out there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, even though there were 3, I actually really don't like RBI 2 and 3. I just like 1. And I was going to say Ninja Turtles.
There's 4 of those, though. Screws it up.
Yeah. So that's the other part of it. I mean, what would you count for? A tournament?
Yeah, it's not really. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of like an asterisk game.
Yeah.
So Turtles would probably be the other one I would mention.
All right. I'm going to cheat, but it's technically not cheating. Final Fantasy on the Famicom 1, 2, and 3. Awesome series.
I believe the question was best NES trilogy, not Famicom trilogy.
Well, you can technically play those on the NES, so I think that's legitimate, right?
Really? Like
okay,
you can just
fine.
stick that cart right in. Why don't you say the trilogy that we all know you're thinking of?
With a converter. All right, the Ninja Gaiden trilogy. Yep. The Ninja Gaiden trilogy is the best trilogy on the NES, but no, seriously, Final Fantasy. That if you buy, you get the translated versions of those. Those are really good. They're very good. But yes, Ninja Gaiden trilogy is awesome. I was playing 2 earlier today.
I need to give a shout out to the Bart Versus games too. I know most people don't like them. I love them.
I'm with you. Yeah, I love them too. I think they're hard and they're really good. I played them I played the Virtual Bart on the Super, and that made me go back to the ones on the regular Nintendo.
Virtual Bart and Bart's Nightmare, so much fun.
Yes. Virtual Bart. That title screen is great.
I can think of so many other good series on that system.
I was going to say, at the event at Retro Games the other night, someone had like a box full of boxed Super Nintendo games. And one of them, like a bunch of great games, like, Mario All-Stars, Mario World. And one of the games that this guy had was Ninja Gaiden Trilogy. Complete boxed. It was beautiful, and it looked like it had the cellophane on it still.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I don't know what he was asking for. It was like in his trade box, and he was very trusting of just walking around the store, letting people kind of. He had box protectors on him and everything, but it was the first one box I've ever seen.
I don't like the Super Nintendo version as much, but
it's not quite as good. Yeah,
it just doesn't strike me as quite right. But it's not bad. I mean, if that's what you get to play.
Yeah.
But gosh, so many good series. All right, moving on to our last question from Twitter. At Sega Tomcast. He's here again.
Got a lot to live up to.
Yeah. Do you prefer it now, where you can get the same game on most platforms, or in the X-Bit Wars when ports were different games on the different systems?
Easy answer.
It's a good question. I'll go last because my answer is different.
Okay. All right. Well, Krabby, what's up?
I love that when they're different. I want a reason to own every console. I don't want the same games to be on the same console or on different consoles.
So you're okay with the Aladdin argument about Genesis versus Super Nintendo and all that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Yeah, that's so you can have the good old Championship Edition versus Turbo argument.
If they had like different Batman Arkham games on each console, I would have to own everything.
Oh, all right. Well, me personally, I would have to go back to the different versions just because it gave you something to look forward to or to try. I mean, I played Double Dragon on the NES, and you're like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. But then you play Double Dragon on the Master System, you're like, this is frickin' Double Dragon. You're like, this is the real arcade Double Dragon. So it gave you a reason to own both of them and to play both of them, not just, oh, this one's got more P's than the other one does. So... Bill?
In the context you guys are thinking of, I agree. I enjoy the differences in different games, like the different shadow runs and all that stuff. But like kind of back when games were simpler, games today, one of my biggest wishes for the future, and I know there's a lot of roadblocks in getting this to happen. I want to own a game across whatever platform it's available for. And I know that's a tall order, but if I buy the game, I want to be able to play it on my PC, on my Xbox One. If they come out with like a Vita version, like Guacamelee is going to be across everything, I'd like it there too. At the very least, I want cross-save compatibility, because all that is a save file. I know all of the console makers are really, really protective of their own environments, and they don't want to do that. And they want to have exclusivity and things like that. But if a game's available for multiple things, I think there's got to be a better way to give you that same game across multiple platforms. But as far as, what you guys are talking about, I enjoy the fact that the Street Fighters on the Super Nintendo are different than the ones on the Genesis. So I have them all.
Yeah, well, I can see that. You want the magical digital future, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's pretty digital because there's no way to do that without being digital. It'd be logistically impossible. So, yeah, I really do want to have the thing and then play it on whatever platform I have.
All right. Well, but you're the Steam guy, so I guess that makes sense, right?
Yeah, and the Vita now too, because what's it called? Borderlands 2. I just got the Borderlands 2 bundle on the Vita, and okay, I have this 130 hour save that I played on the PC over a year and a half or however long the game's been out, and oh no, you can't carry that progress over. Why not? It's just I'm sure there's hackers that have done it and you got to jump through hoops to do it. But at the very least, give me my guy that, it's just let me play that because I don't want to play it again. I want to take the dude that I've got and, keep going. So, yeah, I guess my request is largely digital.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, as usual, we really appreciate the questions. It helps us out on the show. And if you want to send in more for our next episode, just send a tweet over to @Collectorcast, and we'll answer them here on the show. All right, well, we are going to, this episode, take the obligatory trip down E3 lane. Usually we sit and we talk a lot about collecting and old games, but, we actually do pay attention to and play new games as well, and it's time to talk about all the...
Like just the other night when we played Rainbow Six Vegas.
That's so new. Yeah, Bill and I did hop on. We had a lot of fun.
Oh,
Krabby,
man,
you need to play.
If you guys get into a game where it's not so shooty, I'll definitely join you.
Oh, this is not so shooty, right?
It's more... there is shooting. It's Rainbow Six, but it's every shooter out there is so, run out there, shoot everything, grab a flag, go, go, go. And, I don't like that. So it was very slow. It was very tactical, very methodical. So Duke and I... So we, the game starts, and we're like, okay... We're going to go through this door. You get on the door. I'm going to cover here. I'm going to draw them out. You're going to shoot the first guy on the left. I'm going to take the guy on the right. So, door open. Boom, 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 boom. Good. Check. Is it clear? It's very, very like exactly the kind of game I want to play. I don't like the, run out there, shoot everything, throw a grenade, jump. Like, I'd rather it be like nice and tactical. And this was we just played it for a couple hours a few nights ago. It was great.
Tell you what, if you like yell Hadouken every time I shoot my gun, I'll join you guys.
We do have on headshots, you have to say aces out loud. If you get shot with a shotgun or shoot someone with a shotgun, you have to say spas. So there's like some code words that happen that kind of make it fun.
You own a store, man. Just take a copy off the shelf, plunk your money down for Xbox Live, and we'll play. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can take the game, definitely. I don't know about plunking down for Xbox Live.
I know that's probably like 70 Canadian dollars a year or something.
Yeah, that's probably exactly right.
Yeah. What do you guys charge for magazine subscriptions? I don't even know why anyone
I don't know what
it
is up here. Anything that's like print media is like at least 150% more than getting it in the US.
I just remember like being like a kid, and that's all my impression was of Canada. Like, oh, this magazine's $5 or $14.99.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's expensive to get those penguins to swim to the right place. So no doubt, I'm going to guess that a lot of people that have watched the goings on E3 or read about them. So, I mean, we're not going to reveal any magic that you don't know, but at least we'll get a chance to chat a little bit about our thoughts. Obviously, when we were watching things, we were chiming in back and forth a little bit online, but it's kind of fun to go in and talk a little about some of this stuff.
I actually had probably my best E3 experience I've ever had this year, because I had Fleech here watching it with me, and I had engineer Mike joined us for most of it, and another gentleman that frequents my store a lot. We invited, so we had a few guys to sit there and watch all the news stuff roll over, and it was pretty fun.
Awesome. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff announced, and we certainly don't have to go through every teeny tiny thing that's in there, but things that kind of catch our attention. But we can kind of talk about the major pressers and kind of what happened with that. I'm going to guess that we probably all have our own perspective about what we liked and didn't like, and kind of what we talk a little about more. But maybe we can start off by talking about Microsoft, just simply because chronologically they were the first ones out.
Sure.
So, of course, they've been getting beat up like crazy for what they pulled last year in E3, and I think the expectation was, hey, look, we've kind of changed our tune, and we're going to come out and talk about games. And, I mean, before we get into the details, I think overall that's what they did, right?
Yep. It was games, and we'll get to Sony later, but it was surprising to me how much time Sony spent not talking about games, given that they, had such a strong stance on it, when Microsoft was talking all media stuff. But, I thought they came out and they did, pretty much what I think a lot of people expected them to do, just talked a lot of games.
I agree completely, yeah, especially compared to the Sony one, Bill. You're absolutely right. Normally, I glaze over during Microsoft press conferences, but it was the Sony one for me this year that was the most boring.
Yeah, and I think some of it's timing too, right? Because I think the Microsoft event was maybe like an hour and a half total.
And I don't know how it was about not. You're right, like the amount of time it was, and I think Sony's was quite a bit longer.
Yeah, it was 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it felt like 4.
Longer. And actually, I forget what it was. There was the time when they started talking about that original show that they were going to have on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
and that guy gets on the TV, and I was streaming it online or something, and I think I muted it, and then I was like, okay, I'll go back. Like, I just don't want to hear about this thing anymore because it really was dragging on, and I feel like I went and did something else for like 10 minutes and came back, and he was just still standing there talking to the camera about this show, and I was like, that is a long time, and you could tell no one in the crowd was feeling it. And at the end, it was like...
the one guy, right?
Yeah.
And the executive that followed him was just as, non-exciting to watch. Like, he was just so boring talking about, PlayStation Now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we'll probably get to the details on that later, but have you guys seen the pricing?
Oh yeah, I just saw that yesterday.
No, I didn't. All right, so save that. Let's talk. I want to hear because I don't know this yet.
Oh man, yeah, we'll get to that.
all right. So let's talk Microsoft's presser. So they started off. We had Sunset Overdrive, right, which is kind of their big game. A big game that they're pushing for the fall.
Yep. Yeah,
Uh,
first exclusive Insomniac game, I believe, for them.
Yeah, because Insomniac's been really big on PlayStation so far. So
like to the point where people kind of thought that Sony like owned them, but they just always worked on Sony platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and has anybody here been big on like the Ratchet and Clank games or anything? Has anybody played those?
Never played one.
I played one of them like halfway through, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like my jam.
Never played one yet.
No, never.
No.
Yeah, I haven't played those either. They look kind of like just like goofy little action games with like crazy weapons, and this looks like a goofy action game with crazy weapons. So
right, yeah, it's very much like Crash Bandicoot with like overpowered weapons. Very, very good. From what I remember, very good voice acting, very good writing. So I mean, it's definitely got its niche of people who love those games, but yeah, it just didn't click 100% for me.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it and I thought, oh, it's interesting. And I mean, I have an Xbox One, but I mean, this is not something that I'll buy, but I'm sure they'll sell plenty of copies. Krabby, any interest?
Actually, this was the second most exciting game for me for the whole press conference. I thought it looked really cool. I love the old Tony Hawk games, and it looked like just Tony Hawk with guns, like just how you never have to stop moving if you're good at it.
Mm-hmm. It kind of like along those lines. It reminded me probably more so because of the grinding of a Jet Set Radio.
Yes.
So like a Jet Set with guns. So like keep your momentum up. If you lose your momentum, you'll it's going to be to your detriment. This is one of the games that I was really excited about coming in. I'm not sure how I feel about it after seeing the gameplay. I feel like it's one of those games that I have to play to know if I'm really going to dig it. I love the art style, and I think there's not enough games, especially like when you compare it to Sony's conference, there's not enough games in general, with like just really super bright color schemes. Everything in Sony's press conference looked like it was like by torchlight or like in candlelight. And besides Nintendo, with their,
opposite end of the spectrum.
Exactly. Yeah. It actually reminded me it made me think of something that you'd only see on a Nintendo platform. So yeah, I think I still have to play this one before I decide. But it's very interesting.
This one for me, it's not something I'm going to buy a system for, but it's something I will definitely buy once I eventually get the system.
Right.
Oh, okay, very interesting. I'm surprised to hear that, Krabby, that you're that excited about the game.
Yeah, I thought it looked like fun. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think kind of jumping ahead a little bit. Did you guys see the little punk that the Sunset Overdrive people did on Assassin's Creed?
I did see that.
Yes.
That was great. Okay, let's save that for a minute because that was really good.
Yeah.
Up next, they had Forza Horizon 2 or Forza Horizon. How are you supposed to say that? Forza Horizon 2.
Yeah.
It's another Forza game.
Exactly.
In rain. It's raining.
And that's probably all that you really need to say about it. Is that it's like, if you've played them, you know what they are. They're gorgeous. They're realistic. If you like that kind of thing, awesome. If you don't like that kind of thing, stay away. Like, I feel like this is kind of like the known quantity that every time Microsoft has a show, they're going to talk about it or show a new one, and you just always know it's going to be there. Like, it doesn't excite me, though.
What makes Horizon different than the main numbered ones?
It's open world.
Right. So similar to Burnout Paradise.
Okay.
Only still simulation style, but like, yeah, instead of like, going through menus, it's kind of that open setup.
Yeah. And they put weather effects in, which, I mean, is a gimme. But they said, it's basically the Forza 5 engine. They've just kind of revamped it for this game. So, I mean, nothing surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that, I am impressed, though, that Microsoft turns these games out. Well, I get to turn 10. Bad pun.
Get it?
They get these games out there pretty regularly, and they're generally pretty good, whereas it seems like it takes Sony 600 years to get a Gran Turismo out.
Well, to be fair, it doesn't take Sony 600 years.
Okay.
It takes Polyphony
Digital.
Which, you could talk about the semantics of that all you want because, they're kind of synonymous. But yeah, I liken it to Team Eco.
Oh, you mean the game that'll never come out? Okay, yes.
Correct. Takes 40 years to make, and it'll probably never happen. And then it happens, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna be. Don't worry, it's gonna be great.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna happen at all.
It's not gonna happen.
Nope.
So
Going
sad.
back, I know.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to things for a minute, we had, I guess, another big thing that was there was the Halo Master Chief Collection, right?
I mean, because this was leaked, I wasn't excited about it until I kind of saw them show it. And one of the things I really liked about it, I didn't think this would make a difference to me, is everything unlocked from the minute you start. Because one of the things that bugs me is like, okay, I've had these games, I've played these games. What if I want to play Halo 4, level 8? I don't want to have to play through the whole game. So the fact that it's just everything's opened up from the beginning is actually I didn't think I would care that much about that, but I kind of do. It looks really, really good. I'm not as big of a Halo multiplayer guy, but it did seem like a lot of people were happy that they put a lot of effort into the Halo 2 multiplayer being included in there. But for me, I've always been a campaign dude, so for me, this is just going to be 4 co-op campaigns that I'll play through with buddies again.
Krabby, obviously Halo, not your thing, right?
I've still never played a Halo game. I'm assuming the price is not much more than a regular game. It seems like a awesome way for someone like me to try the whole series if they want to. Nothing I'm going to buy a machine for though.
Yeah, I was impressed though that they kind of included like you can flip between original graphics and the new updated graphics on the fly. Yep. So that's cool.
They did that in the Anniversary Collection, didn't they?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Have you played the Anniversary, Duke?
No, honestly, I never got past Halo. Well, like I got a lie a little bit. I played through Halo 2, but I mean, I never finished. I played like ODST and Reach, but I never finished them. I just kind of played them a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it's something that I forget the first game that really did it. That'd be an interesting question, but yeah, I think if you hit the back button or whatever it is, you switch between old and new, and it's really, really crazy because rose-colored glasses or rose-tinted glasses, you kind of remember it better than it actually was.
Right.
So when you switch to it, you're like, no way! I thought this was the best-looking thing 10 years ago. So, but no, yeah, in the Anniversary did that. Some of the Tim Schafer adventure game remasters do that, where you just hit a button and it goes back to the original, PC version. But yeah, this is one. I don't know if I'll buy it the day it comes out, but I'll definitely get this.
Yeah, it's probably not a buy from me. It's probably a borrow, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not high on my priority list, but that's getting to a release this year as well, right? So
right, November.
All 3 of those games are 2014 games, whereas obviously a lot of the games we'll be talking about will be 2015 releases.
Beyond, yeah.
But kind of going that direction, they had a big thing where they talked a lot about the indie games, right? The ID at Xbox program. They showed just a lot of clips, but Cuphead, right?
Yeah, they showed a lot of clips of games that I didn't realize were going to be coming to the Xbox One. And a lot of times when you say indie games, I don't think a ton of people really, associate that with what indies actually are. But then when you see all those games one after the other, and I always think that it's got to be tough for somebody like Krabby who really, doesn't get into the digital, the digital distribution only models. There's so many games out there that are, and it's so easy to, grab a game for $3 or $4 or $5 or grab it, it's so easy to grab a console and just play through a handful of those small games, and they're good games. I couldn't believe how many that are in development for it that I didn't realize were in development for it. I'm really actually excited for a lot of these.
Yeah, but did you guys Cuphead?
The art looks awesome.
That was so amazing.
So Felix the Cat. I love it.
Oh, it's like a platforming boss rush 1930s cartoon masterpiece.
Hasn't this been in development for kind of a while?
I don't know. I guess it has been. This is the first it's not been on my radar before. So, I think it's been out there. It's just maybe, I don't know. It just didn't get much attention, but it seems like everybody's talking about it now, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It looks. I mean, I don't know if you haven't seen it yet. Go look at a trailer. The artwork is. It looks. I mean, like this is a It looks like a hand drawn cartoon.
If somebody walked in the room while you were playing, they would just think you were watching a cartoon.
And like an old cartoon. I mean, the style is perfect. So, I was pretty impressed. They hinted a Halo 5 is coming next year, but really nothing exciting to talk about.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was stronger than a hint. They said Halo. They said it's coming.
Right, but no firm anything at this point in time, right? Hopefully 2015.
Right, nothing as far as dates, but it exists. That's what it is. They're working on it.
Isn't the lead like a female or something in this one?
No.
Or am I wrong there?
It's always Master Chief.
Yeah, you're playing this
Apparently
John.
I dozed off and had a daydream or something during that part of the press conference.
Cortana is a female.
Lady Chief.
There was too much shooting going on and he got tired.
He was staring out the window at the prostitutes outside the door. Coming up a little more than that, they had also Evolve. What'd you guys think about Evolve?
I kind of glossed over that one too.
So it's kind of that idea of sort of like Left 4 Dead-ish kind of multiplayer, right? Bill, you watched this one?
I did. It's really hard for me to judge based on trailers. And I don't know if I saw any gameplay on this one.
I think it's like basically, if this is the one I'm thinking of, it's basically like 3-on-1. Mm-hmm. Where one person is like the monster and these other people are the hunters.
No, you're right. Yeah, wasn't this the one where? Yeah, I do remember that. It's a super interesting idea. It doesn't immediately grab my attention. It's more one of those things that I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool that someone's trying something new like that. But it didn't. It wasn't like a game changer for me.
I wasn't sure what it was, so I watched the like 20-minute. Interview with the couple of the developers, and they were showing people playing the game the whole time.
Right.
And yeah, it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, not my kind of game, but I can imagine it will be pretty popular with a certain group of folks that enjoyed kind of like that Left 4 Dead sort of thing, right?
The Left 4 Dead 1 was one of the only multiplayers I got into for a while, and usually I'm a co-op multiplayer guy. And this was so cool because you would spawn if you've ever played the game, you'd spawn as the special infected, and you're kind of like trying to fight the group of people that are trying to get through the level. So you are kind of working co-op, but with the other infected working against the other team. So it was this weird kind of team versus team co-op type feel. So yeah, I could definitely see how like someone kind of like pulling the strings in the background is like, okay, spawn this guy here, put a trap here. So it's almost like reverse tower defense. Again, really interesting idea, but nothing about it made me say, I got to play this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't really have any deep interest in it, but pretty cool. Project Spark, they brought that back again, really, I think just to throw Conquer in people's faces.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, but it was almost like, it's Conquer. But
you think that's going to affect the price of Bad Fur Day?
Probably not. Drive it down?
It's already like the game I hear the most about in the store, and that was before this announcement, so yeah.
I didn't realize that people are still clamoring for Conquer, but obviously some people must be, so... Almost
daily here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know it's worth a few bucks, but, I really don't understand how on earth he plays into this build your own world game kind of thing, but
yeah,
I have no interest in Project Spark, so.
Yeah, I got nothing. Project Spark to me seems kind of like a mix between Minecraft and Little Big Planet, where the people who are into it love it to death and make levels and share them with each other and spend countless hours on it. I think there will be a group of people that do that. And it looks interesting. But yeah, I can't say that, I think the beta was automatically installed on my machine because I have Xbox Live, and I noticed it a few weeks ago and I still haven't turned it on.
Yeah, I have no interest. Krabby, you like the world builder kind of make your own game sort of things?
No, I can't stand them. When I got Little Big Planet and Mod Nation Racers, loved the games, played through the stories, and then never had any interest in doing any of my own stuff on them.
So here's an interesting question, Krabs. So regular listeners of the show or anyone who knows you, they know your stance on downloadable, like you're a physical guy.
Yeah.
Or if you're like a physical format, like for your games. But what about a game like Little Big Planet that is a physical game with a disc that someone creates content for? Are you okay with trying out that content since you're playing the game off a disc, or is that still a no-no?
I just had no interest in doing that. Yeah, like I never went online to see what other people were doing, ever. Just something that wasn't on my radar.
Gotcha. I know a lot of people, and they get pulled down pretty quickly, but a lot of people recreate old games in Little Big Planet, so I know you can play Contra.
I've seen the Contra one yet.
Yeah, and there's a few others. That's the first kind of big one that came out, and I think they actually like pulled it. Like whenever Sony found out about it, they were like, "Oh no, we'll get in trouble. We can't do that."
I actually, when I first got my PS3, I was going to babysit my nephews, and there were 3 of them, and then I brought my son along. So I figured I'd bring Little Big Planet and some controllers along so they could all play. And they spent the entire night just making characters. And it was driving me nuts. I had to like leave the room. I'm like, play the game. And they're like, no, like we're dressing up. I got this hairdo and this sticker. And, it's driving me crazy.
I've actually heard a lot of that from, people who have had kids for several years. They're, 5, 6, 7 years old playing games because my guy's nowhere near that age yet. I'm just trying to like kind of figure out what it's going to be like when I get there. And people are like, kids aren't like the way they used to be with games. Like they just want to play it. If they can't create things, they get bored, more quickly these days, it seems. So, I was talking to a bunch of guys who were like, dude, all my kid wants to do is play Minecraft because he can create. Someone said, like a guy at work, he was like, I bought my kid like Lego City Undercover or whatever it's called. And he's like, why can't I just take that car and smash it up and create something else with the pieces? And he's like, well, because the game's not made that way. You just can't do that. And he's like, well, this is stupid. Put Minecraft back in. So like, it's almost, it really feels like kids want to be able to create in anything all the stuff they're playing now.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a certain group, this will probably be a big thing, but yeah.
Yeah, so Spark, I don't know. Duke, did you tell us your thoughts on this? You going to play it?
Yeah, no, I won't. It's just not. I mean, I've looked at trailers. I've kind of watched. There's nothing that interests me whatsoever about this. Yeah. So, and I don't have the time. I barely have time to play legitimate games that are good.
Don't want to play crappy things you're making yourself.
Exactly. If I could make games, I'd be making money at it. I'm not. So.
I mean, like, I don't know, a lot of people who make games don't make any money off it.
Well, that's true, and get fired quickly.
Yep.
Scalebound is the next from Platinum Games.
That's my number one game. I saw that whole press conference.
All right, so tell everybody, Scalebound. What's that all about?
It looks like action-packed Monster Hunter without all the slow, drawn-out parts that are in Monster Hunter. Just huge monsters. You're like a regular-sized guy taking them down. And if you've ever played anything else by Platinum, you know how over the top their action always is. It's like you can just do ridiculous things all the time without stopping. And it looks like it holds up to that.
For people not familiar with Action or Platinum, what have they done?
Bayonetta is probably their most well-known one. I think they also did Mad World and Vanquish, and I'm trying to blank on the other one. I know they got like a more fighting style one. Okay. Bayonetta and Vanquish were their big two, and then Mad World on the Wii was Platinum as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, known for big flashy action and well-refined mechanics, right?
Yeah, very polished gameplay when they come out, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Bill, do you think anything about Scalebound at all? Is that your deal?
I mean, I'm not typically an action game guy. I don't have the like the reflexes. I don't have the patience. I don't have the refined control to play some of these things. I've tried a few times, and it's just not my jam. But enough people have told me to play these things that I'm willing to give them a shot. But this particular announcement didn't do anything for me.
Anarchy Reigns was the fighting one I was trying to think of. And they also did the only Metal Gear game that I have any interest in, Revengeance. That was them.
I played the demo for that with the sword
Yep.
like where you have to slice enemies up a certain way. Now, as opposed to like standard hack and slash stuff, that actually seemed kind of interesting because you're not just, mashing your buttons. Like you actually kind of have to aim your sword strikes. So that looked interesting.
And they did the Wonderful 101 on the Wii, which is awesome game. Same thing too, like really frantic action all the time.
Mm.
Now, the next thing that, I don't know if it was in order, but they had Fable Legends there, right?
Don't care.
Anybody have any interest at all in Fable Legends?
No, but let me put it this way. If it's called Fable, I don't have any interest in it.
Yeah.
The first one let me down, and I haven't had any interest in any of them since then.
I've tried hard to like the series.
Just like girls.
Oh man, it's yeah. I mean, it looked to me like it could almost be like a Phantasy Star Online kind of thing, but man, I just tried watching it for him, but the schlocky dialogue that they were all bantering about during the demo was so horrible. It was so horrible.
I feel like, I don't know if it's Microsoft or Lionhead or like who's got what going on, but like someone keeps trying to convince us that this is like a really good game.
I know.
And I'm like, I know there's people out there who like it because it sells. And I have one friend who bought a 364 Fable and then he didn't touch it again till Fable 2. So like, I know there's people who enjoy it. I don't know. This is, I don't know. I don't know who's playing these games.
I don't either. Especially like with Fable 3, I think they quite literally had to give that away.
Yeah.
After a while. It was just didn't sell. So yeah, I guess Krabby, no interest in Fable Legends.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. All right, well, we'll pass right past that one then. Dance Central, it's coming back.
Not only does no one on this show care, it doesn't really look like Mike. Like, look at their show like a year or two ago when they gave Harmonix like the stage for like 5 minutes to like ridiculously dance in front of it, and now like Regopoulos comes out there and is like, "Yo, there's a new Dance Central game. Peace." And that's it. And the thing is, I'm kind of cool with that because everyone in the world knows what Dance Central looks like being played. Like everyone's seen it. So I'm glad I didn't have to wait through a 5-minute, demo session.
Well, Harmonix probably isn't too happy with Microsoft right now either.
He used to be their head of something, and now he's like a producer or something. But when they announced the connectless Xbox One, that guy John Drake from Harmonix tweeted, "Great."
Yeah.
And like honestly, like
Phil Spencer, is that
make
the guy?
it like and I'm not saying this to John Drake or to Harmonix, but like make better stuff. Like it's make it so you can't not have a Kinect and people will get one. Make it not ridiculously expensive. People will get one. Like it's not up to Microsoft to hand it to every, like, I'm glad they included it with that initial bundle because you have a bigger install base. But like, I don't know, like, I feel like if there was really as big a demand for it as as they want, people would want it.
I have to look at Harmonix and I go, hey, look, you're an independent developer. You hitched your wagon to Microsoft in this Kinect thing. You didn't have to do that, right? So, the writing was probably on the wall a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've got a Kinect. I've got a new one on the Xbox. I'll get probably not this one, but I'll get the other dancing game because my kids like it. But
Just Dance?
Yeah, they like that. They like that series better than this one.
Yeah, so does my son.
Can I ask? Well, I've never played Just Dance, but I know it's the best selling dance thing. What's the difference?
Dance Central.
Does it track your body, or do you just hold a Wiimote and dance around?
Oh, it depends on the system.
Okay, so the Kinect version does do body tracking?
Yes.
Okay.
That idea is the same, but like in Dance Central, you see look like people, and in the other one,
Just Dance.
Yeah, it's
white ethereal creatures.
Just think Lady Gaga.
Yeah, it's like this weird kind of cartoony thing, and they're more fun. I think just for kids. For kids, it's just fun.
So Krabby, you say your same thing. Your boy likes Just Dance.
Yeah, like when his cousins had Dance Central and he had no interest in it, but then when he's playing a song on Just Dance, you'll see Godzilla walk by in the background while the guy's dancing and wearing a superhero costume.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just more kind of just silly fun.
So it's not nothing to do with the soundtrack. It's more to do with what they're seeing when they're playing the game.
Pretty sure the soundtracks are probably pretty close.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I would say that, honestly, at least in my experience, again, there's more kind of silly, fun songs in Just Dance, where Dance Central is more about like hardcore dance music.
That's a
like
thing, hardcore dance.
It's more
hardcore
street.
dance, yeah.
More street, man.
My favorite Ursher song is in Dance Central 2, and I could fire it up right. I could get off the show right now and just fire it up and wake my wife up. And just, what are you doing?
She'd probably not appreciate that.
It's midnight, and I'd say it's Ursher, and she'd say, "Yeah, you're right. Keep going."
The only songs I know on my son's Dance Central games are the ones he won't play.
How's that possible?
I'm like, Final Countdown, sweet. He's like, no, that one's boring. He's like, I won't do that. Yeah.
Do you get up there and just start that?
I've tried to get him going on it. He won't get it going.
Why didn't you? Well, that's the answer. That's why it's the best selling, because the parents are in the store and they're like, yo, Final Countdown's on this jam? I am buying this for my kid. And the kids never play that song.
Sold. Well, you wait till the kids are asleep and, nobody's around. You turn it on. You act stupid for a few minutes,
Yep.
I had to play it once with them.
And sounds like Samba de Amigo.
Right.
My wife and son convinced me to play that game once, and I 5-starred the song.
Whoa.
First try,
Nice.
yeah.
I bet you were playing on Expert, too.
I don't know that you can scale the difficulties. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't, maybe you can. We just always put like on whatever just keep playing
whatever
songs.
Default is, yeah.
Yeah, just keep playing songs. That's what I just don't stop. I want the kids to keep moving. So.
Did I tell you guys about when my son first got that game?
I don't think so.
No. He saw it at the store and he really wanted it, and I thought he would never play it. And so I said, if you really want that, you have to work for it. And so he did odd jobs around the store all day for me and earned it. And then I took it home, and I thought he'd be downstairs and back up after one song. And he went and started it, and I went down to check him, make sure he started all right, and he was fine. And then I came back 10 minutes later, and he was all sweaty and still going. And then I came back 15 minutes later, and he was in his underwear, drenched in sweat, beat red, and just going nuts, way harder actions than you needed to get the Wii remote to respond. And he was just, yeah. And he still really likes it, yeah.
That's hilarious.
He brought it out for Fleech when he was up and showed him a few of his moves.
It's really fun for young kids. I think they get a really good time out, and it's a good exercise.
Oh yeah, he really got a workout during that one.
Yeah, so I'm down with it. But Dance Central, yeah, no, I'll pass.
Nope.
That's all right. They couple other quick things, and we'll wrap up Microsoft here. I think they had they showed Assassin's Creed was in Sony's.
Assassin's Creed Unity. You know what? I don't remember. I think it was in.
It wasn't Microsoft. It was either Ubisoft or Sony.
Okay, was it the Call of Duty? That was in Microsoft, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was right at the start, the very first.
Yeah, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
No,
I think.
Advanced
Warfighter.
I can see. I screw that up with Graw.
Or no,
right?
because Ghost Recon was Advanced Warfighter.
I think it's Advanced Warfare. Who cares, right? It's Call of Duty.
Right. That's what it should be
in the
called.
future.
Call of Duty, who cares?
Yeah, Call of Duty, buy it again this year. That's
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, with robot suits, right? Little mech suits.
Yeah, they're getting into Metal Gear territory with the weirdness of the technology that they're trying to convince us is out there. I don't know. I know there's people who like these games for the multiplayer. Again, I'm more of a campaign guy. I don't know if it looks like there's enough there to keep me busy with it. Yeah, and I hate to be like the Call of Duty hater. It's just not interesting to me. So I don't know if people are still interested in it the way they were a few years ago. But it exists.
Seems to me like Battlefield 4 kind of won some people over. Like a lot of people have been doing Battlefield for a while. So I don't know. I don't do that. My brother plays a lot of Battlefield, but
I played Battle 1942 in the PC days. I'm just not a multiplayer shooter mainstream guy, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, me neither. Talk briefly about They teased a couple things. First, one big tease at the end, but before that, they talked about Killer Instinct Season 2 is coming with TJ Combo.
It sounds like more like a threat than a tease.
You don't want TJ Combo? Come on, man.
A Killer Instinct's one of those things that I forget exists until like they talk about it.
Have they announced Fulgore yet?
Fulgore's out already.
Oh,
I
is
played
he?
him.
Okay.
He's good. He's actually really good.
I got it, like, I got it right when the system came out. And I sold the system like within a month and haven't followed it since.
Yeah, they Spinal came out and Fulgore came out. And I want to say that's like the end of Season 1, so I think TJ Combo's coming for Season 2.
Season's weird.
Enough of that, I guess. It's just a way to sell more season passes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like originally, someone just said, okay, get season pass to get all the stuff we get for it. And I don't think a whole lot of people ever said, well, hey, how about we do multiple seasons of DLC for a thing? But that gets a little out of hand.
Yeah, Microsoft figured that one out.
Yeah.
And then probably, I guess, unless you guys have anything else for Microsoft, they ended with a teaser trailer for Crackdown, right?
That's my number one most excited thing that I saw.
Our little group me app really lit up during that one.
Oh my gosh, Crackdown.
Oh man, Crackdown is
Krabby, did you play Crackdown?
I have never played Crackdown.
Oh my god, what?
Crackdown is the hidden gem because everyone kind of knows about Lost Odyssey, even though it's like a hidden RPG gem. Everyone kind of knows about Outlaw Golf because of me and the way I talk about it. But I'm telling you, like Crackdown, it's hard to call it a hidden gem because it did sell a lot. A lot of people played it. It was the absolute surprise of that generation for me. Like, because it looked so generic and it looked so like whatever.
So much fun.
I don't think there's a game that I've ever played where traversing the environment is as fun as it is in Crackdown.
I hate GTA games. I loved Crackdown.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a good endorsement for me to try it. I feel the same way, yeah.
Go. I'm sure you probably have 10 copies in your store. Take a copy home and play it. You'll have a ton of fun with it.
Oh man, and if you, it's so you have like basically like 5 stats, like your agility, like your shooting, like your health, all that stuff. And every time you do something that, uses that stat, it kind of gives you like some experience points. And it's no numbers or anything. It's just all like little gauge. So like you can get your guy maxed out. And as you like start doing like more and more stuff with these power orbs, like you kind of like almost like an altered beast kind of power up, but it's permanent. So like your dude just keeps getting more and more powerful. And then like at first you can only jump like 10 feet in the air. But then, like, on your first level up, you're jumping, like, 18 feet in the air, and you're like, whoa, I can get to way more places now. And then, like, when you max out your jumping, you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, you're jumping across the city.
And then in the second game, the end game of the second game, where you can add they had, like, the wingsuit and the boot, like, almost like Iron Man boots. You don't need to touch the ground anymore. You can just do, like, the Super Mario World, like, cape swish to keep yourself up, and Crackdown is amazing. I wish I was playing it right now.
Yeah, Krabby, do yourself a favor. Try Crackdown. You'll really enjoy it.
I will somehow fit it into my backlog for you guys.
And and I'll play through the whole thing with you, like in a day.
Yeah, we could do some co-op.
Yeah, there's co-op campaign in that. And when you ever heard
I got no lives.
Oh, you can squeeze out those loonies.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fly up there and do it with them.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
So Crackdown's worth it. That's my number one. I really, because Real Time Worlds made the first one. Real Time Worlds then made APB. You guys ever hear that? It's on the PC.
Yeah, I heard about it.
It's an ill-fated PC free to play. Similar type to Crackdown, only not as good. And then a different company who name escapes me. Not Riot. I can't think of it, but someone else made Crackdown 2, pretty much using all of like the jazz drives from Crackdown 1. They just like took all the zips and unpacked them and just put their name on it. But now the word is that like original team members from Real Time Worlds are making the new Crackdown. So I'm super thrilled. Even though they didn't show gameplay, which kind of says to me they're probably, at least a year away. Doesn't matter. I can't wait.
Yeah, I was, that was, obviously it was there was no gameplay at all, but just to know we're going to get more Crackdown made me happy.
Oh,
I'm
so
happy.
Good.
Yeah.
And I actually got there. I have a couple of, not Xbox haters, but guys who bought PS4s and they're asking me like, hey, maybe I'll get one eventually, whatever. I got like 5 text messages when that happened saying, okay, Crackdown, I'm buying one.
Yeah.
So the people who know about Crackdown know the impact that it has.
Yeah, it'll help move some systems as long as they do it right. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. So just to wrap up Microsoft then, if you had to give Microsoft a letter grade walking out of this thing.
Can I actually, you forgot one that I was psyched about too, yeah.
I'm sorry.
They showed they're going to try and do another Phantom Dust.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd never even played the first one. Do you guys play that one?
A little bit, yeah.
I had no idea because it was the dude who did Killer Instinct, right?
I'm not sure about that. I have no idea.
The producer, he was.
I have no idea.
He came out and he was like, "Oh yeah, I worked." He's like, "One of my passions is bringing back these awesome games." I thought it was a Killer Instinct guy. Maybe I was wrong. But then he's like, "Yeah, so we're doing it with this, with this game too." And as more they showed the symbols, they showed this little trailer, and the whole time I'm thinking, what the hell game is this?
Yeah, I didn't know it.
And the tease was horrible. The tease was very horrible.
And then when they came out with the name, it was like, oh, Phantom Dust. And Sarah looked at me and she's like, oh, is that some cult classic that, everyone's waiting for? And I was like, I don't know what that game is. I've never heard of that thing. So you've played it, Crab?
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. It's, I don't know, a action game, but with strategy elements to it.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
4X combat,
which is probably why the tease was so bad.
Yeah, the tease was horrible, and I honestly I don't know how you can tease that game well because
it was just a dude. It was like a dude fighting a chick. And I'm like, what? I don't know what is this.
Half the time they weren't even fighting; they were just staring at each other and Dragon Ball Z charging.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what? I don't know.
But it's a fun game. It's worth playing. It's dirt cheap on the Xbox. If you ever see it, it's $5, and it's a fun one.
It's all right. And the Xbox One version soon to be $5. All right.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask, and I don't know if either of you have any idea, but is this one of the Xbox One games that will play on a 360?
Do you mean
because the cross-gen, right? That's the thing, right?
I don't know.
All right, so rating Microsoft. How well do they do? Krabby, if you had to give them a grade, how would you grade?
6.5.
No, it's a letter grade.
Oh, letter grade.
That's how they do it.
That's a C+. Yeah, I gotta metric that into something. C+.
C+? Really?
They get a C for Celsius.
Okay, C+. All right. So, Bill?
I'm giving them a C for Crackdown. But no, it's no. I mean, if I had to rate it overall, I mean, am I excited about a handful of the games that they were talking about? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, you look back at that show, and nothing against Microsoft or anything, because I have the system, I like it a lot. Nothing in that presentation really blew me away to the point where I was even looking at Sunset Overdrive and the games you're excited about. They seem like games that 6 to 10 months after you play them, I don't know if they're going to have that impact. To me, it was more the promise of what's to come, but nothing in the immediate future is really blowing me away. So I'm going to stick with C for Crackdown.
For Crackdown.
But spoiler alert, that's the highest grade any of these guys are getting from me.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
Man, we didn't watch the same show.
Apparently not.
I guess not. I would give Microsoft a B-. I'll be a little more generous than you haters. I think that they did what they needed to do. They came out and they said, "Hey, look, we get it. We didn't do a great job last year. We are 100% focused on games. We're going to give you what you need." And I felt good about it. So,
yeah, if I was grading them on a company mission, I think I'm right up there with you, like B+. I guess I heard your question as, is like the games that were announced. Like, how excited are you about those?
Sure, and the whole show itself, just their whole presentation.
Yeah, I mean, the games I'm thinking like a C. The entire thing altogether, I think I'm with you with like a B plus.
Yeah, okay. I went into it too expecting like C- or F. Like Microsoft has its place in gaming. It's just far from what I usually want to play. Mm-hmm. So it was cool to see. Like usually at E3, it's the big budget titles that are going to sell millions that they're really showing off to. So I was really happy to see like Scalebound getting in there, because it's not going to be a massive seller. It's not going to sell systems, but those are the kind of games I like to play. So it was nice to see a little bit of something I wanted at a Microsoft press conference.
Impressive. Maybe he'll buy an Xbox One again at some point.
Maybe. it'll be 2015 for sure.
All right, so enough of Microsoft. We're ready to talk about Sony, right? Sony took a different turn from their press conference last year a little bit, right?
Yeah, they both kind of did the old switcheroo.
Yeah, I mean, like last year, everybody bashed Microsoft for boring TV and extra crap and praised Sony, but they just kind of flip-flopped. But I didn't hear Sony get as much crap, but I guess we'll get to that. And did you notice, too, I mean, to me, is there anything coming out for PS4 this year?
Exclusive?
Walking Dead season. Oh, exclusive. Not this year.
Little Big Planet 3, right?
Is that this year?
I think so.
Yeah, November.
Okay. All right. Well, and it had such a stellar demo in the press conference.
Yeah, it's Little Big Planet. I mean, it's one of those things like if you like Little Big Planet, you'll like it, and if you don't, you won't. So no one who wasn't interested in Little Big Planet before is still not interested.
Who likes Little Big Planet?
I don't know. I know there's people out there because that game sells. I don't know anybody who was like, yes, Little Big Planet.
I like taking it when I got some like nephews to hang out with for the night. It's a good 4-player game for the younger guys.
Is it like New Super Mario where everyone's going at the same time and you can kind of like screw with each other?
Yeah. There's a lot more spots though where they purposely make it so you need to cooperate to get past things. Whereas in New Super Mario Bros, if you're good enough, you can just do it by yourself. So they kind of reward you for some teamwork in the Little Big Planet ones.
See, I'm actually kind of more into that than, the kind of like fly solo on your own type deal.
Right.
So that's slightly interesting to me. I don't know enough people who I think would be, are going to be, plunking down $60 for Little Big Planet this year. But I'd be interested in giving that a try with 4 people.
I wouldn't recommend 60. Maybe if you can get it for like $29.99, then give it a shot, and I think you'd enjoy it for a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah, if you like your platformers with 100% more jank, there you go.
Yeah. And now tell me if I don't know if this made it past Little Big Planet 1, but my problem with Little Big Planet was always like, how did I fall through that platform? It's like, oh, well, up and down, brings you to a closer or further plane, on this.
That's still a thing.
Oh, that is brutal. Like it's like, it's just, that's like, platforming is great and tough platforming is great, but like, who needs to add that layer to have more fun? Like, can you imagine a game being more fun with that or less fun?
Yeah, I've pretty much settled on less fun.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that either. I know some people, like with the customization, have made some pretty cool levels with the layers, but the main game ones seem kind of, they don't need to be there.
Yeah, and it just, why wouldn't you just play Mario if you want that kind of game? I mean, it's a million times better.
Because the kids like to dress up the dolls.
Yeah. I mean, and especially with the, what gets me is like, Sony was like, especially last year, was real big on like, oh, like we're all about indies, like indies, which is great. A lot of people like those. They're small, they're cheap, they're very, very good. Thomas Was Alone was a free PSN Plus game just last month, and it's a phenomenal indie platformer. But like all these, terrific, accessible, cheap, small platformers all over their platform has kind of made it like, why would I spend $60 on a platformer when there's so many, $5 platformers that are great on your platform?
It's for the creation tools. It's not for the platforming. That's the people that are paying $60 are the people that are going to spend time making and sharing ideas. The people who want a platform are the ones who are going to pick it up in the bargain bin 2 years later.
I was going to say, you don't even need to wait that long, because the good news is 3 months later it'll be free on PSN. So
yeah,
don't worry.
I could definitely see it becoming free on PSN in the springtime.
That's right, and PlayStation Battle Royale 2 or whatever. So that'll be coming up right behind.
So that's definitely coming out this year. Or, at least they said, unless barring a delay, that's coming out this year. Infamous Second Son, which is obviously already out. They had some, excuse me, Krabby, some DLC announced, but
you're not excused.
Yeah,
girl version, right? Is that a girl character?
And that was a big. I don't know how this became a thing. Like, everyone started asking, "Can you play as a girl?" And then like certain games were making fun of other games for not being able to do it.
Yeah, it was great.
I like playing as a lady all the time.
Yeah, the reason I can't play as a lady is because I kind of like to play a character that I can relate to. And I just have no idea how to act if I'm a lady.
My whole thing is, if I'm going to be staring at someone's backside for a few hours, better be a lady.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah. What if it's first person, though? That you don't get to, then you just have to live inside that person's head.
What first person games do you know that I play? Maybe Mirror's Edge, and that's a lady.
BioShock Infinite.
That was upon request. It's not something I went out to grab by myself.
And you get to look at a lady.
I got to, sometimes I really didn't see her too much, though.
Well,
Rainbow Six.
You made a nice
female character.
Right. You were a lady in Rainbow Six.
Yeah, always. Whenever there's the option, I'm always the lady.
You're an expert.
Where are you guys at? Are either of you guys remotely interested in any of the Infamous games?
No.
Same thing. Bargain bin. I like to goof around on them for a little bit, but not overly.
So have you guys played the first Infamous?
Here, let me give you an example of my interest in Infamous. Remember when Sony screwed up and gave everybody free games years ago?
Yes, correct.
I get Infamous. You know how many times I turn Infamous on?
Zero. Yeah, but remember those free games everybody got? Yeah. I think most people turned them on 0 times. You downloaded them because they were free, and then you went on about your day.
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
Yeah, it was like Stardust or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet was one of them. That's how everyone got it.
Unfortunately.
1 billion copies sold. Well, we didn't sell them. Just they're out there.
It counts, right? It counts. They're installed.
So I mean, I guess I might be the only person, at least on the recording, who played the first Infamous all the way through to the end.
Oh, okay. Well, what'd you think then?
You are.
I thought it was cool. It was more of a chore for me to play.
That's a ringing endorsement.
Well, no, but like Assassin's, in the same way Assassin's Creed 1 was a chore. It was kind of repetitive. I had to kind of force myself to finish it. I've heard lots of good stuff about Infamous 2, even though I don't have a desire to play it. And I've heard a lot of people that have PS4s say that Infamous Second Son is really good. It just, for some reason, it's one of those franchises that I can't get myself to get interested in. Very similar to another game that everyone gets to be in the beta on PS4.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Destiny is a game that I keep trying to get myself to be interested in, and I just can't. I just can't do it. I'm gonna play the beta. I'm gonna probably own the game eventually. I don't know why. I just can't get excited for it. It just doesn't.
Destiny seems like a trick. They're trying to fool everybody into playing an MMO.
Gotcha. We got you. But there's no monthly subscription or anything on Destiny, right? Is that the deal? I
don't believe so. Yeah, not that they've announced. And I can't imagine them springing that on people. It's
yeah, probably not. Yeah. I have I've never even been a Halo fan, so it means nothing to me.
It is going to be big, though. It's not on my radar either, but I was talking to the people at EB Games here about we did a Mario Kart tournament a little while ago when Mario Kart came out, and we were planning the next one, And so she wants to do something at midnight. And so I'm saying, what games have enough pre-orders to get the midnight launch? And she's like, Destiny has like 200 pre-orders at our store alone. And normally, like big games like Halo and stuff, they get like 90 to 100 pre-orders. It's doubling them there, and it's still months away. It's going to get more. It's crazy.
I honestly, I like that. I agree with you that it's going to be huge. I really do feel like systems early in their lifespan, you have big pre-orders like about a year and a half in, because you really only have like one or two, like the launch games, maybe you liked one or two of them. And then a year later, it's like, oh, now here's the thing that we've all been waiting for. And
sure.
These systems, the one and the PS4, have kind of, the sales have kind of taken off quicker than some previous systems had, just because of the way the industry is. So I just feel like, it's not that these games aren't good, but I think they're going to sell really, really, really well because they are the best of what's available right now.
Yeah, but the thing we got to keep in mind too is that Destiny's available also for last gen.
Yeah.
So I mean, of course you're going to sell 200 copies. There's 4 systems of things out for, plus PC, right?
Correct. Yeah, PC as well.
So 5 SKUs. I mean, that shouldn't be hard to sell 200 copies.
In Canada,
I wouldn't think. I would think it'll be popular, but I mean,
yeah, I think so.
Well, I don't think this is. I mean, I know that they're like, oh, you can get the white special PS4 with Destiny, and I mean, it's all well and good. It's fine.
I actually had some people sell me their old PS4s in anticipation of the white one.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're okay not having a PS4 for like 6 months?
Yes, they are.
Wow. Well, I guess they got, their Wii. They got Mario Kart 8 they can fire up on that guy.
I think it probably just says that there's nothing to play on the PS4. Not that there's a ton on the Xbox One either.
So Krabby, so you just mentioned that a few people sold, their PS4s. Do you have people coming in asking, hey, when's that white PS4 bundle coming out? I want to reserve it.
No.
Okay.
Well, they wouldn't at your store, right?
Well, sometimes people don't realize I just do used stuff, and I do get asked for newer things, but I haven't been asked about white PS4s at all.
Okay. I did watch a little of the of Destiny on Twitch just because wanted to know what on earth it was all about, and it looked kind of like standard fare stuff to me. Of course, I don't know all the details, but I kind of went, oh yeah, shoot, deathmatch stuff. All right, I get it. And
see, I'm kind of cool if it ends up being like a Fallout type, like either 3 or New Vegas, where it's kind of solitary. You're kind of walking across like a barren, alien sci-fi type wasteland, making your way around. If you have quests you're working on, the way they made it seem the last year when they showed it is you can kind of be alone and then get to an area, and then it's like, oh, there are a bunch of people who are doing a thing right here. Kind of sounded like raiding, and then you could kind of jump into that thing that they were doing in that area and, fight this big thing together, share the experience, share the loot, like Borderlands style, and then kind of go back to like your solitary roaming the wasteland. So like, I thought that sounded interesting to me, just being like a really big Fallout and Skyrim fan. But I haven't really seen them show anything like that since. So I think I'm going to have to wait and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's in this big hurry to be the next Call of Duty, and, Titanfall didn't do it. I don't know. We'll see what this does, if it peters out. But, I mean, maybe just that genre's just not as strong as it used to be. I don't know. Who knows? I guess we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of competition in that space.
Right.
There's
a lot of dollars, and I don't think people are trying to be the next Call of Duty as much as they're trying to get all those Call of Duty dollars that see that those people are willing to spend. So I think Battlefield for a while tried to be the next Call of Duty, and then EA jumped in with Medal of Honor, and it's like, okay, you can't just be another Call of Duty. Like, you kind of have to be the better thing, like the thing that's better than everything. So I think they're all still trying to figure out what that is.
Well, and speaking of shooty shoot and exclusive stuff, at least temporary for the PlayStation, was Battlefield, whatever subtitle. I don't remember what it was by now, right? Hardline.
Guns.
It's the cops and robbers.
Cops and robbers that look just like regular Battlefield, pretty much.
That was temporary exclusive to PS4, you said?
The beta was, I think.
Okay.
They did that, and you can play it now. Remember, they had like all the curtains went back on the sides,
and everyone's there. Yeah, I guess I blanked that out.
Yeah, and like fire pyrotechnics or whatever so going off like, yes, Battlefield. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you guys thought. I tried playing Battlefield 4 last year. It was okay, but I have no interest in this.
Yeah, not really a Battlefield guy. I play through the single player campaigns once I can get them for free or cheap on Origin on PC. But yeah, I play through the single player campaign. They're pretty cool. The visuals are amazing. The weapons feel extremely good. Kind of Call of Duty Modern Warfare style. Like there's like, there's different, there's like one will be a vehicle level and then a sniper level and then an assault level and then a nighttime. So they kind of like run the gamut of like almost like training you for the multiplayer. And the story wasn't too bad. I think I played Battlefield 3 was what I played. I don't think I played 4 yet. But yeah, they're cool. But I don't think anyone who knows any of us, thinks that we're really into the shooty shoot type games.
Yeah.
So
at least not that style anyway.
yeah,
right?
yeah. Vegas 2 for life.
Yeah, that's a good game. It's a lot of fun, I will say. Except
Or Vegas 1.
Krabby is not been a big fan, maybe, but
he was a good sport. Krabby was a great wingman. He kind of covered that garage for us. In what was it like? I forget the name of the map.
I got that staircase all the time.
Yeah.
I just wish I could go back. I wish I could go back and have been just recording that bit where it's all of a sudden it's like, where are you guys at? It's like, oh, you're still way back at the beginning.
We should definitely I had a friend who used to do that. His Xbox was hooked up to like a DVD recorder, and he would just hit record and just like let it go. And we'd go into work the next day, and he'd just at Best Buy, and he'd throw the DVD into one of the TVs and just let it play. And like all of our audio was on it and everything, so it was like the whole session was recorded. It was great.
Great. Probably one last big shooty shoot since we're talking about them in Sony was they had a big bit on Far Cry 4, right, at the Sony show.
Yeah, they showed. Is that where they showed?
They showed the co-op
video.
Yeah, they had the video, and then they also showed the co-op bit, right?
Correct. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so they showed the intro, kind of setting up the story with the new villain. They didn't give too much away, but just like the little quick intro. And then they showed kind of like the guy and Buddy trying to take over, like a little installation or whatnot from the bad guys and the gyrocopters, right?
Yeah. I think people might be surprised given what a big Far Cry 3 fan I was, or I still am. I wasn't super blown away by the Far Cry 4 stuff, just because that is not how I play Far Cry 4. Like I don't, go in guns blazing. Like I'm much more of like sneak in, kill everyone unawares, and then, the base is mine.
You hide under the elephant and sneak in there.
Exactly. Yeah. The Trojan. So yeah, I'm very impressed with like the way the options the game can be played with. But I had friends who were texting me, "Oh, you must be loving this right now." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's cool. It's not how I would play, but yeah, it's definitely cool." I'm hoping that, they leave the stealthy, gameplay approach in there. But seeing like, jumping off mountains and hang gliding and then switching to other stuff, like it just seemed like the complaint people have with Far Cry 3 as you got like, a couple hours into it, you're like, dude, this kid's a tourist. And like now he's like a guerrilla warfare expert. So like, I don't know if they're, going too far over the edge with that same thing. But it doesn't matter. Game's going to be fantastic. I'm just, hoping I can be a stealthy stealth player.
I'm just sure, when you're going to make a big press conference, you're going to show something flashy and crazy and, guns blazing and, the biggest thing I heard is that they didn't show it in that thing, but kind of going along with just, I love that kind of do anything. They said, they're not telling you to do it, but you could strap C4 to an elephant, kick the elephant to go run into the place and then set the C4 off. Maybe I'll burn for that. One. That sounds great.
But one of the most interesting features, and I didn't even catch this on the video because I kind of, just tuned it out. But apparently you can invite a friend to play with you, even if they don't own the game, as long as you both are playing on a PS4.
On PS4. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to work. That must probably just a big download or something you'd probably have to do.
Most likely, yeah. Well, yep. And that's, I think Nintendo has done that before, but obviously with, cartridge-based games and link cables. So for something as big as Far Cry 4, I'd imagine that you're going to be, hey, you want to come play Far Cry 4 with me?
Long link cable.
Yeah, tomorrow once it's done downloading. But that's it's a cool thing to try.
It makes me wonder if it's going to be one of those things where you can play maybe for a little while and then it's like, hey, wouldn't you like to buy it?
It's, and of course they're, they say the thing at the press conference, and then by the time like the actual feature comes out, it's like people aren't even excited anymore. And then they can say like, oh yeah, it's for like 48 hours. And then you can.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I hate being like that, cynical, old, grumpy guy. But because when you're a kid, everything's just like, oh, everything's the best thing in the world. And then you get a little older and you're like, wait a minute. What's the catch here, buddy?
Well, I mean, they're out to make money. I'm not mad at them, but they're just not. You can't expect them to give everything away for free. It's not going to happen.
That's correct. And there used to be a saying at Best Buy. It said it's very difficult to please the customer because they want. I think the phrase was everything now, nothing, which is the customer wants everything. They want it now, and they would like to pay nothing for it.
Yeah, sure.
And that's the hardest person to please, and that's what the customer is.
Sure. Well, and the companies would like to produce nothing, never, and charge an infinite amount for it. So
exactly, yeah.
Got to meet in the middle somewhere.
That's right.
Well, we'll get to Nintendo later.
All right. Well, let's go back to Sony. They did a few more things this year. They spent a lot of time on this Entwined indie game. Any interest in like the weird like birds thing?
It looks fun for like a session.
I had no idea what I was even looking at.
No, I know. That's why it looks like fun for one time, and then you're like, oh, done.
Yeah. I think it's the spiritual successor to Colibri.
Oh, there you go. A bird shooter?
I don't know. Doesn't it kind of like, like as I'm watching it, I was like, oh, it kind of looks like the birds from Skyward Sword, but it kind of also looks like, what's that game? Child
of Eden?
Yeah, Child of Eden. I was thinking Child of Light, but that's the new one. Yeah, it kind of seemed like a weird, it's and very similar to Child of Eden. I feel like it's going to get like really good, like, reviews and scores and stuff. And then no one's going to play it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to buy it.
It was just one of those odd things. I think it was like another one of those like, oh, and you can download it now. Yep. And then I'm sure no one proceeded to download it now. Mm-hmm. It's just odd that they spent so much time on it. I was like, and okay, I mean, don't get me wrong, because Sony's press conference was way too long.
The amount of time they spent on everything was, and the what do you call it? The ratio of time they spent on things was weirdly off.
Yeah. After a while, I was like, really? Can we please just, move on a little bit? But
you didn't want 10 more minutes of Abzu?
Oh man, or whatever the frig that television that like show they're producing that no one's gonna watch.
Powers, something like that.
Like 18 minutes on that.
Was it literally 18 minutes?
I muted the guy. Like I went and I watched an episode of Arrested Development, and I came back and he was wrapping up.
I mean, I swear to God, I was just waiting for Don Matrick to walk out on the stage and start patting him on the back.
That's how we like to do things.
TV. I was waiting. It was so terrible.
All right, so games. I don't think you guys have ever played Magicka, because I think it was mainly popular on the PC, right?
I have no idea what Magicka is.
Magicka is a co-op game where like you all play as like kind of like little Jawa looking like wizard dudes. And you have like a couple of different magic powers that you can bind to your triggers. So basically like you can have like, ice in one hand and lightning in the other. So you can, have a couple of spells, but those spells combine not just with you, but with your friends. So if you want to, if there's like a guy who's like weak to lightning, you can have one guy shoot lightning at him, and then one of your dads can like throw water on him, which like compounds the effect. So it's kind of a really cool, like elemental, like magic co-op. I'd say dungeon crawler, but it mostly takes place outside. But the writing and the humor is really good. It's a cheap little game on PC, Magicka 1. I was kind of surprised to see it coming to console, where, I don't know if it's, even been released yet. I haven't really been paying attention, but, it's a cool little game, and I'd be, curious to see what you guys think of it if you ever get a chance to play it.
Doesn't sound bad.
So paint me a picture of, if I was looking at the game, what would it remind me of?
it's hard not to think of the Jawas from Star Wars because they're little robed dudes with like, you know, just like shadow where the face would be.
But I mean,
And,
is it like Diablo perspective? Is it third person?
Oh, yeah. So it's isometric. So you kind of see the whole battlefield and, you know, like all the little dudes running across it, very similar to like a Diablo, or like a StarCraft or, you know, pretty much anytime real-time strategy. And, you know, and everyone's kind of got their HP and MP bars and, you know, I think there's a little bit of loot. You can like, you know, find items, you know, improve your dudes. I'm telling you but the writing, it's kind of like a Borderlands type writing where like it's very self-aware that it's a game. So like, there's like, you know, they're like, and the clan of magicians, you know, went to work for this guy who's definitely not a vampire and he's totally a vampire, you know, like that kind of stuff. So, it's cool. It's a quirky little, like a funny little, like everyone who plays it loves it for like 20 minutes. And then they're like, okay, I'm done with this game. And the main reason is because a lot of people play it alone and it's not meant to be played alone. It's meant to be played with, you know, 2 to 4 people. So, I wouldn't recommend it if you're thinking about playing it alone. Like, oh no, I could do it alone. You really can't because you really need those combined spell effects of the party to really, you know, get somewhere in the game. So if you have a couple of friends who that, you know, sounds like that'd be interesting to all of them, that could be something that, you know, I'd recommend. But, watch some YouTube videos, see what it looks like, or Twitch. You know, it's a great feature of the consoles to be able to watch people playing the game before you buy it.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Diablo 3 showed up, not for much too exciting, just saying, hey, it's coming and those monsters from that other game are going to be in it, so go buy Diablo 3.
Yeah. Did you ever get it, Crab? Because weren't you excited for it?
I was really excited for it, and I was going to get it day one, PS3, and then they announced it was coming out on the PS4, so I was like, okay, hold off on the PS3 one, I'll get the PS4 one now, and then they just keep delaying it, and so I kind of lost interest in it.
I've heard it's got spectacular, the PS3 version and the 360 have spectacular reviews, like 9.5s, and it's supposed to be translate really, really well to console. But same thing, unless I have some people to play it with on a new system, I'll probably hold off.
I missed the boat with a few of my local friends here. Like they've all got like every character class maxed out now, and they beat the game on like every difficulty. And I just waited too long to pick it up to join in with them.
I've got the 360 version, but I haven't touched it yet, so who knows?
Oh, was that with your like $12 Walmart price match?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So rip Walmart off every chance you get, right?
That was awesome.
All right. Now, I want to hit a couple other oddball things. I know we've got a big one that Bill's going to want to talk about for a minute. So, and probably one over here that Krabby wants to talk about, too. So let me knock a few other oddballs out.
Go for it.
So, Disney Infinity. Anybody care?
I'm going to get a Hulk figure just to have it. I'm not going to get the game, though. Just the figure.
Right. I'll probably grab figures that I think are cool or maybe are limited. And then when my son's old enough, I'm sure that we'll jump on with some Disney and superheroes.
Yeah. I think I'll save my money for Amiibos.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
I will.
We'll get to that.
I don't know what that is.
You'll
find
know
out
very soon.
You'll find out. PlayStation TV.
Zero care.
It's a Vita for
Next.
your TV. Yep. By the way, I'm trying to sell my Vita, so if anyone wants to buy a Vita.
No, dude. You got you got to play that game on it.
No, I don't.
Speaking of the Vita, did you guys find it interesting that there was literally nothing Vita related? Like
Zero,
game-wise? Yeah.
I'm not shocked because
I think they've relegated that system to like, you get like some extra cool games every month with PSN Plus, but that's about it.
They didn't even this has got the PS4 compatibility. They didn't even talk about that at all this year.
You know what else they didn't even mention is like, hey, how's everyone liking that Borderlands 2 bundle that we just released? We just updated the game, added some features to it. No, they didn't even like sneeze anything with Vita on it.
Bizarre. Do you know what's weird now too? Vitas have been sold out a lot of places. I wonder if they're just not going to be doing big production runs of them. I wonder if Sony's bowing out on it.
Seemed, I don't know. I felt like it had another year or two if they would have put a couple big titles in.
The thing that really struck me is, remember when they originally PlayStation TV was Vita TV?
Yep.
Okay, remember when they were coming out with a phone and it just became like the Xperia? Like, they do this with everything.
Yeah, I think I've learned the lessons. Never another PlayStation branded portable ever. I'll stick to Nintendo. Okay,
yeah, that's a much safer bet.
Yeah, so Abzu, and we talked about that one. Oh, God, please. Well, how do they name these things? That's all I want to know. Okay, so let's move to probably the last one that nobody's going to care about in this group. The Order 1886. Anybody? Nobody?
Nobody.
I don't understand why this is still a thing. It seems like the Rise game of the PS4.
Right.
Yeah, like this should have been out right away. People would have thought it was cool for a month and then never talked about it again.
Yeah,
and it's
Rise was like...
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with you completely. Rise was like 2.5 hours long. It was pretty because it was made by Crytek, and you play through it. That's what my new system can do. Give me another game immediately. And the Order, it's like, in development for 7 years, and it's played by Torchlight, and...
feels like they're trying to hype it up, and there's not much meat to hype up.
Yeah, they poured a bunch of money down the hole, and they're trying to get their cash back. And good luck. That's all I got to say.
And then it got delayed too. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, nothing terribly thrilling going on there. I think. I'm gonna say that I don't know, Krabby, you might be interested. Bloodborne.
Absolutely. That's like the best announcement I heard up to this point in E3 was Bloodborne. It looks so cool.
Oh, that's the one that you're really.
That's the I don't know what you were thinking about, but that's anything better than anything I saw in the Microsoft press conference. It was the best part of the Sony conference for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So that's kind of like almost your game of show.
Did they show gameplay? Was that the one with the?
They showed like a pre-rendered trailer, and then there was like some gameplay like leaked out of E3 a couple days after.
Yeah, and that's the whole people that did like the Dark Souls game.
Yes, Demon Souls and Dark Souls. Yeah, from Software.
Interesting to see if that'll go anywhere. I don't know. Is that PS4 exclusive? Is that it?
Yes, that's right. That was kind of the rumor, and they confirmed it. And it takes place in the same kind of time period as Order 1886, so I hope it just kills it in sales.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and one other thing, again, before we hit a couple of the heavy hitters, is you guys were going to tell me PlayStation Now, right?
The pricing scheme leaked out, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry, was it leaked or was it like promoted like that?
No, it's a beta.
Okay.
It's like people are participating in it, so it's the beta, and everyone who's defending it was like, well, okay, come on, it's a beta, so like these prices will be adjusted.
Okay, and fill me in. What about the prices?
So let's say you want to play Deus Ex: Human Revolution.
A PS3 game.
Which, by the way, is available on Steam for about $5 right now.
To own, okay.
To own forever, as long as Steam servers are available to authenticate your copy of the game.
And I'm sure probably the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions are probably like $10.
Yeah, probably retail like 10-ish. You can probably download a digital copy for $20 because the console storefronts are a little bit behind, with retail pricing.
Okay.
So if you want to play the game for, let's say, 2 hours,
okay,
that'll cost you like around $3 or $4. So you pay $3 or $4, and then you get the game for 2 hours. I think from when the download is finished.
2 hours.
Right. Now, let's say you want to play it for, I don't know, like a day.
Okay.
That could be like $8 to $10. Let's say you want to have it for 2 weeks. That's somewhere around like $19.99. What? And then if you want to like seriously, and almost every game, the rent it for 2 week or for 1 month option is at least what the game costs.
So this thing is DOA. Is that the idea?
The pricing's ridiculous. You have to think they're going to come down on it, but then it was released like, no. These prices are very similar to when the service launches, what the pricing is going to be.
I don't know how you guys feel about Michael Pachter, but before they announced that at E3, he was talking about it and saying exactly that. He's like, they're going to be high because they don't have enough games to make their money back on it, and the only way they're going to get them lower is if they get a ton of games. And he's like, there's this circle that they can't get out of, and it's going to be high no matter what.
Right. Now, when people like us who are like, old and wise see, well, that doesn't make very much sense. it's completely different to the type of person who, might be a little bit younger, not have a job, and just has a whole bunch of gift cards and wants to, they might be willing to pay, $3, 5 times to rent a game and then decide what they want to buy, but so I guess time will tell, but, the pricing scheme is quite ridiculous.
Here's my question. Why wouldn't you probably just keep your PS3 hooked up and just get a used copy?
Because you already traded it in. Because you couldn't wait for that white PlayStation 4.
So you could just go back and buy a PS3 for very little.
Exactly. Yeah, that system's gone. That ship has sailed.
Oh my goodness. So this sounds just terrible. Is that the idea? Terrible?
It's not something that I don't think anyone I know would have any interest in dipping their toe in the pool. I think they'll make a few dollars on it, and I think it'll quietly die, similar to Microsoft's Game Room several years ago. I actually really like Game Room, but that's who I am. Of course, it was not something that was going to survive.
No, because it's like, hey, you remember that Atari game you liked that only costs 50 cents at the used store?
Yeah.
How about $5?
I'll take it. God, I actually bought a bunch of those, and I really liked walking through my virtual arcade. But that's why it didn't survive, because no one else did.
Yeah, because everybody else was like, "Oh, I could just emulate this on my PC for free."
Ew.
Hey, look, playing on your 360 is emulation too, buddy.
No, it's not. There's a picture of an arcade right there.
Right. Let's wrap a few other things up pretty quickly that probably nobody cares about. Drive Club. Anybody care?
No one cares.
Pass.
Nobody
Not
cares.
even on this show, like anybody.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this and you think I care about it, put the pom-poms down. It's no one cares about
It's
that.
another one of those things that should have been out in the first little 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, how about this? PlayStation 4 is going to have free-to-play games.
What doesn't?
Next.
But they're free to play.
I think my Boost mobile phone 13 years ago had free to play games on it.
They really made a big deal of that, though. Like in the press conference, like now on PS4, free to play. And it's so I can play crappy cell phone games on my TV.
Yeah, I mean, freaking didn't Xbox 360 have World of Tanks 2 years ago?
Yeah, yeah, come on.
Yeah,
it works great. Works great.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like when remember Pizza Hut had that remember when Pizza Hut introduced? Is Pizza Hut in Canada?
Yeah, we got Pizza Hut. Yeah.
Okay, good. Remember when Pizza Hut introduced pasta? We have pasta dishes now, and literally go look it up. The a commercial for it. It was yeah, restaurant quality pasta, at your Pizza Hut. And I was like,
oh yeah.
Well, yeah, of course it's restaurant quality. You're a restaurant. Why would, so normally the food is underneath restaurant quality?
That's all right. It's like every time I see a commercial that says all natural ingredients, I say, well, uranium's natural. That doesn't mean I want to eat it.
Man. Drive Club.
Yeah, I know it.
Look how crazy Drive Club makes us.
I know it. To balance out the Crackdown CG trailer, they had to have an Uncharted CG trailer on the PlayStation 4 tail end, right?
Yep.
It's like, this is what it could look like 5 years from now or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, Uncharted's always,
they're saying next year, aren't they?
Good luck. They didn't even show any gameplay. They just showed 5 seconds of pre-rendered stuff. So
they've shown about the same amount of Kingdom Hearts 3, and that thing's not coming out for years. So I don't know.
It could, but
I'd be surprised if Uncharted hits before next Christmas at the earliest.
2016.
I know Square Enix is notorious for long development cycles. So who is it? Like Naughty Dog that does Uncharted?
Naughty Dog. Yeah.
Yep.
How are they for development cycles? I'm not familiar with.
Not terribly bad. I mean, all they've really done recently is Uncharted 1, 2, 3, Last of Us, and then I think they were consulting on the Last of Us PS4 port. but I think it was mostly being done by another company, like most ports are. So I think since The Last of Us finished, they've been working on whatever they're working on next, which has got to be, Uncharted.
I think they did Uncharted Golden Shower for the Vita, right?
No, that was another company.
Oh, okay.
Golden Shower was outsourced.
Fleech was pretty excited about the Uncharted trailer tease at the end.
That's a foreign shower.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I was like, Uncharted's like they're all good. I mean, they'll sell. They'll be good games. I'll definitely play through it. There's not a lot that strikes me as like, day one stuff. In the industry in general, like there's very few things that I'm like, okay, I'm shelling out the money. I can almost always say, yeah, I'll wait for it to be $20 or $25. Like I'm patient. Uncharted's the same way for me. Like I know it's going to be really good, and it's the type of game that I really like. I kind of wish it had less shooting in it, but that's just me. I'd rather just be puzzle solving and exploring, and not like, how are there 95 guys to shoot like in every area I go to?
I only played the first one, and it was so bizarre to me how I'm like playing this like Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones kind of game, and then all of a sudden it's like sci-fi, like out of nowhere. It was weird.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it took a turn. And all the games take that turn, and they explain the turns pretty well in the second and third game. The first one kind of takes an oddball turn. I actually replayed the first one a couple of years ago, and I was surprised at how much I thought I liked it versus how much I actually didn't really like it the second time I played it. I think 2 and 3 are pretty strong, but I think going back and playing 1 shows you just actually kind of how weak the game is.
I've never played any of them. Don't
2
really
and 3 are good. Wikipedia the story for the first one and play 2 and 3.
Or not.
No, seriously, there's some good characters.
Yeah, with my backlog, it's probably not going to happen. Okay, another quickies, couple more. Ratchet and Clank, PS4, yay, right? Who cares? Okay.
Nope.
Let It Die.
That one looks... I'm willing to hear more. It looks like it could be really bad or really good.
I thought you were talking about this segment.
Yeah. And I like Suda51 games, and I'm very skeptical.
Yeah, like I really like his games too, but this one looks almost like it's like a constant online game.
Yeah, it looks like some kind of like virtual just murder sim thing. I don't know.
How come everyone says, "Oh, I love Suda51," but then the games don't really sell great?
He's got like a cult following. Like they sell enough that he makes a profit enough to keep going, but he's not like the richest man.
If you made No More Heroes 3, I would be in for it.
How did 2 sell? I know 1 did okay.
Not well.
No?
Not well at all. But I liked it. That's all that matters, right?
Of course, exactly. As long as they sell 1 copy.
So, I was happy. All right, I was happy. No, none of his games I don't think have done. Probably that whatever, the 361, the Damned, whatever it was.
Shadows of the Damned?
Yeah, I think that was it. That probably, I would guess, probably the bestseller.
Really? That's the bestseller? Yeah.
I would guess, because he did that one with Mikami, right? From Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Shin Megami Tensei.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but
that would suck if that was the best-selling one.
Well, I can't think of what would have sold more.
No, I agree. Stop. I just the better games should sell more, but they don't. It's sad.
Of course not.
Because the
better band should sell more albums, but it doesn't work that way.
I mean, Lollipop Chainsaw probably didn't do huge numbers.
So much fun though. I love that one.
It was a good one. Yeah. You had No More Heroes 1 and 2.
Killer is Dead.
Killer is Dead did not sell well.
You guys are losing everybody not in the
okay,
cult.
yes. Okay, so let's move on.
Let's let it die.
Let it die.
Wait,
exactly.
We'll move to Bill's one then. Let's do the Grim Fandango.
Grim Fandango.
So I'll just be quiet. Bill's going to talk for a few minutes.
This game is so good. So good.
I have no idea what Grim Fandango is, but go ahead.
Grim Fandango. Imagine like LA Noire, but it takes place with Mexican underworlds, like death.
You're not selling me, but go ahead.
So it takes place in the land of the dead. So, basically it's a little Beetlejuicy. So like people who just recently died, they're kind of in this limbo state, and they're trying to make their way to the underworld, and good deeds, they're rewarded by better travel packages to assist in, getting in the journey of your soul. to getting down to the underworld. It's so great. It's so good. It's really hard to describe, but if you like adventure games, the thing is, if you like adventure games, you've probably already played it, unless you're new to adventure games, in which you really should play it. Just like every Tim Schafer game, really, really good dialogue. Lots of dialogue too. So if you want to explore all the dialogue trees, it's really, really funny.
The reveal to the game was one of my favorite moments at E3 too. It was so funny with the letter from the little girl, and then all of a sudden there's hairy knuckles.
Yeah. It was definitely fake, but it was planned out it was planned out like a Tim Schafer joke.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was Tim Schafer's idea, to do it exactly like that. But yeah, it was favorite game ever. And then as it keeps going back, it's Tim Schafer. It would have been cool if Tim Schafer was there. Because was it last year or the year before? It was the year before that Tim Schafer was actually at the Microsoft conference talking about, Sesame Street.
That was 2 or 3 years ago.
Couple years ago.
2 years later. Yeah, he's a little bit of a flip-flopper. But it doesn't matter.
Well, now wait a minute. They didn't say this is a platform exclusive.
Of course
they
did.
Yeah.
No, they did not.
Yeah.
No, they did not.
Of course they did.
No, they did not.
Of course they did. What's it coming out for?
It says other platforms to follow.
It's timed exclusive. That's what they always mean by exclusive now.
Yeah,
exactly. It's not. No,
yeah,
Infamous Second Son isn't exclusive. This is just coming out first on PlayStation. I mean, who cares?
You have to get it right when it comes out, though.
First always means best, too, right?
Oh,
exactly,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They couldn't possibly make a better port somewhere else later.
It doesn't mean you get all the added features later on when the other ones come out.
Game of the Year edition.
In the GOTA edition, yeah. So, what's it called? It's cool that it's coming out on console and Vita, because I have a Vita and I'd like to play something on it. The other thing is,
tell me about
it's nice that they're doing it. And it always ends up okay. But I always feel a little weird. They're like, oh, thanks to our, partnership with Sony, they're going to be helping us bring it over. So, they kind of they were careful the way they said it. But Tim Schafer's not, Double Fine's not doing this. Someone else is doing it, under their supervision, which is fine. That's how most remakes are done. I'm just really, really hoping that it's not just like a coat of paint. I'm really hoping they actually kind of put some effort into kind of bringing the game back to what it was, because it's a really old game.
Well, Disney owns all those properties now, so we've learned that Disney has no problem whoring out their properties to make money. So I'm sure more of those will be coming.
Maybe you get
did you say Capcom?
No, I said Disney.
Oh, Disney.
But
the American Capcom.
Oh, Capcom.
You might even get a little Donald Duck cameo in there or something. You're lucky.
I can't do a Donald Duck voice.
let's hear it.
Grim Fandango was probably my, probably highlight of the PS4 show for me. The only other things that I remotely was interested in playing were Uncharted 4, which is nowhere in sight, and just a handful of the indies that they showed in the indie trailer, but that's pretty much it.
But next year when they announce Far Cry 4 Bloody Your Dragon, you'll be super psyched,
right? Day one, right?
I will be the coolest thing about Blood Dragon is it's not short. It's a pretty hefty game if you go after all the collectibles and stuff like that. It's $15. That is a crazy person who is not buying that.
Krabby, let me just tell you, you would love the crazy 80s stuff.
From what I know about it, I think I would very much enjoy it. So
you would love every minute.
Hopefully they'll slap it on a Game of the Year edition eventually, and I'll pick it up that way.
Oh, it's got to be. If they do, I'd buy it for you. It is so good.
Text me if that happens, and I'll keep an eye out for it in the store.
Have a friend buy it and let you use his account. Right. And then you didn't really buy it. Okay, and then let's wrap Sony with probably the one that everybody gushed over, which was No Man's Sky.
Oh, yeah.
What do you guys think of No Man's Sky?
I thought it was...
that good.
I thought it was really
Speechless.
interesting how they, like, I'm a real big flight combat guy from back in, like, the PC, like, Star Wars flight combat days. I thought it was very cool how jump in a plane, fly anywhere, including into space, into other planets. I would need to see a little bit more before I get, like, too super excited about it, but definitely interested.
Everybody gets their own planet, Bill.
I
You
already
get a
have my
planet,
own
and
planet.
you get a planet, and you get a planet.
No, you just get to be on my planet.
Oh, I see. All right.
Fleech again was really excited about this one. I think those were his two highlights: were Uncharted and No Man's Sky.
I don't get it.
It looks really cool. I will never play it just because it's one of those games that looks like it doesn't have an ending.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
I don't want to keep playing forever. I want a well-defined goal to go and do and move along.
Oh, is that why you don't like multiplayer shooters?
That's a huge part of it.
Oh.
Like, so see the multiplayer in like a Diablo game, I can get behind because we're moving towards something.
You got a campaign.
Yeah, but when you finish your map and you just load up the next map, and I'm bored already after the second one.
Ah. So, what about? So, is Mario Kart cool because you're trying to win the cup?
Mario Kart it used to be cool because I was the best racer, but now I'm so bad at it that I'm just trying to not get last now.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue to talk over to Nintendo, right?
Well, does Sony get a score?
Oh, I forgot. Good, thanks, Bill. Well, okay. Well, what would you score Sony at?
I forgot what I scored. What did I say before? Like C?
I think it's like
C plus,
C
didn't you?
plus,
Like a C,
for
like a C
Microsoft.
plus or a B. Yeah. So this is. I mean, again, everyone who loves Sony, like I'm happy you love them. I'm very glad that you're happy. But just my personal taste in games, yeah. I mean, this is a D for me.
Ouch.
Ooh, D. Ouch. And this is from a new Vita owner. Ouch.
Well, if they talked about it,
They did. In
well,
effect,
they did.
that
Grim Fandango,
you can get for
yeah.
Grim Fandango, and then we're killing it.
Yes. So the Vita, they score an A, and then for the PS4, it's a D.
There you go. And you know what was also, I just noticed, I mean, just brief, no PS3 talk.
No, because they
Burying
are.
that thing.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your money.
Yep, gone.
We're not,
See ya.
we're
Buy
not
PS4.
doing that anymore.
I think they knew though that Microsoft couldn't talk about anything but the Xbox One, so they even if they had something they were going to talk about, they probably cut it.
Yeah, but man, they're really trying to kill the last generation fast.
It was a long generation though, in their defense, longer than normal.
Yeah, but they just recently
Definitely.
stopped selling PS2.
Yep.
So they
Yeah,
shouldn't
but
be
the
trying to.
PS2, in defense, the PS2 is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be trying to kill off PS3 already.
PS3 is good. It's not as awesome as a PS2.
I don't think they need to, like, and I'm not being a troll here, I don't think they really need to kill it off. I think it's doing a plenty good job dying on its own.
Well, if you
and,
want,
and not because it's not good, just because it seems like everyone who had a PS3 has bought a PS4.
well, you can't charge people crazy PlayStation Now prices if they're still buying PS3s, Bill.
Of course not. That feature's not available.
Oh man! All right, Krabby, Sony, what are you gonna give them?
What did I rate Xbox? A C or something?
I think you said
A.
C. I think C was.
I'd probably go with the C for Sony too. There was
Really?
games I liked a lot better than the Xbox ones, but then they just dragged with the the TV, the PlayStation Now, the indie stuff. Yeah, I can do without all that.
Okay, C.
Too long. If they cut like 45 minutes off of it, it would have been like up in the B's somewhere.
Yeah, it was painful.
It kind of reminded me of early PS3 press conferences where like they announced games that everyone was like, oh, that's going to be so great. And then like all those games ended up coming out and they were all really bad. And you just don't think about it. Like, I feel like watching an E3 from like 5 years ago would be so interesting. It'd be like, oh, wow. Yeah. Remember Layer? Remember when they promised us Layer? Oh,
It was
why
awesome
were
for
we
like
happy
10
about
minutes,
that?
and then it wasn't
Yeah.
awesome anymore.
6-axis control. Awesome.
No Rumble,
Can
because
I
that was
shoot my
last
tow
gen.
cable around?
That's right. Nobody wants Rumble.
Nope.
Last gen. You can't make that happen with motion control and Rumble and the thing. It doesn't work together.
Oh, it's impossible. We've had scientists. It can't be done.
Top man
Everyone else
looked
is
into
doing
it.
it.
Top man.
Wait, what? Nintendo did it? Oh, sorry.
Oh, Nintendo did it? Oh, okay. Oh, no, the battery it would take way too much in battery oh, they're doing it with double A's? Oh.
Oh, Oh,
3 volts, that's all you need?
All right. Well, we really just didn't want to pay the license fee for that technology, but yeah,
no,
sure.
You can't play PlayStation 2 games on a PlayStation 3. It can't be done anymore because we would like to keep that money.
We would like to charge you again for the exact same game. Sony. All right, so Sony, I'm gonna give them a D plus.
What's the plus for?
I'm gonna give them a plus just because
Feel bad.
Pity plus.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I never ever want to buy a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, but that would be an F. So I think
exactly,
D,
that would be an F.
I don't know, all the texting that you were sending during the thing, you were like, I can't believe how bad this is.
Yeah, it's bad. But I'm not trying to say it's dead, but I mean it's a PlayStation 4 selling fine. They don't need me, and
they don't even need games to sell fine either. It seems like
obviously not.
No. I'm actually really wondering when people are gonna look at their PlayStation 4, realize they have 2 games, and be like, what am I doing with this thing?
I have people coming in the store all the time, like, what's your new PS4 games? What's your new PS4 games? And I had to stop a few of them finally and say, what are you expecting to be here? There's no new game that's come out. I don't understand what you're looking for.
Right. Yeah. They're just doing nothing to sell me a PlayStation 4. Just absolutely nothing. So
and I want to reiterate, I'm not saying D for the system. I'm saying D for that press conference.
Me too.
Yes. Yeah.
There are other games for, both the systems we talked about so far that I am excited about. They didn't show them.
Yeah, for me, the press conference was really long. They didn't sell me anything. I mean, there's nothing there that sold me anything at all. I'm not trying to say PlayStation 4 is a bad system. It might be fine, but there's just nothing I want on it. So I don't need one.
Right.
The only thing I went into it waiting to hear more about was Bloodborne. Everything else I was hoping for that really cool surprise, and I thought it might be Let It Die when they announced Suda, but then it just looked like it could go either way.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to Nintendo, shall we? Man, yeah, Nintendo's. Now, there's a lot to talk about here, and stuff I want to talk about here, I think. Okay, Bill's
just tell Bill about the Amiibos and he'll be sold.
Oh, yeah, okay, well, let's start with that then. Let's start with Amiibo. So,
what is an amiibo? Is it like an amoeba?
Not quite.
Yes, but more Mario-y.
Well, tell them, Crab.
They finally made their toys that use the near field communicator on the Wii U pad, and they have called them Amiibos for some weird reason.
Amiibo.
Yes,
because it sounds like Amigo.
B-O. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, they showed a whole bunch of them.
It's weird. It's really not like them to name something kind of weird.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah,
Amiibo.
They showed a bunch of them. They had the staples like Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, Zelda. I think they had a Wii Fit trainer and a few more that I'm forgetting. They said they won't work quite the same as a Skylanders or Disney Infinity character. They will work. The same character will work across several different games. The only one they've said anything about so far is Smash Brothers, though.
No, they've said they're going to patch it into Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, but they haven't said what it does yet.
No.
Yeah, and then the Smash Bros, it looks honestly awful. It looks almost like a free assist trophy or something that you get when you put it near your thing.
Well, I mean, but it's a character that you can basically build up, right?
Yeah, you can train it and grow it and stuff, but it looks terrible for Smash Brothers.
It's like Pokemon meets Smash Brothers, basically.
I will still buy all of them just because they look really good.
Of course you will.
Yeah, but how much are they? $13 each?
No MSRP.
Yeah, they're going to be minimum $14.99 or $19.99. I can't see them being
that doesn't
cheaper.
That doesn't seem reasonable.
It's not, but I'll still buy them. It's
terrible.
Okay.
But they'll work across all your, compatible Nintendo. Yeah. And plus, they're going to make it where it'll work with 3DS, they said, right?
Yeah, you have to buy a separate piece for your 3DS to get the toy to pick up. You
have to buy the power portal.
I hope they make another peripheral that fits over top of your Circle Pad Pro so that your 3DS is just monstrous.
The Game Gear size. Can they get the Bluetooth dongle for the Guitar Hero games to retrofit onto it.
I don't know. They said it's probably next year that the PS3 thing's coming out. If they make a Toad amiibo, I will buy like 10 of those. So excited.
I think they said the ones they showed look like mostly pretty much the probably about like half the cast of Smash, or so, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm interested to see what happens. The figures didn't look too bad as far as the quality of the actual figures themselves.
Yeah, they look really good.
So I'll be curious to see what they do with it. I'm just glad that they're finally doing something. It took them long enough.
Yeah, it's weird that they've had that capability since launch and haven't done anything.
I mean, yes, it's Nintendo. They do what they do when they're ready to do it. So
very true.
Yeah. Or never.
So Smash was like definitely the big thing that they were showing off at the show, right? So Smash coming to 3DS here very soon, and then hopefully
not
to
very
Wii U.
soon. They called a delay on it for October now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry.
How can you now? Is that? Are people excited about Smash on 3DS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's leading on 3DS.
2 months earlier.
Wow.
Yeah. And they haven't given a firm date
do you think
on
do you think
Wii
that's
U.
on purpose? Because if someone has a 3DS and a Wii U, they'd probably choose the Wii U version.
I know I would if I had to choose between the two. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's economics. There's a whole lot more 3DSs out there.
Yeah.
To sell software to. So if you want to hit the big
I think they want to
season.
sell it. I think they want to sell it twice.
I
Sure,
agree.
of course.
I'll be buying it twice, and I know that I think just because it's the first one that's on a handheld, it would have sold regardless, even if they did launch them same day. It would have sold a ton on the 3DS.
Yeah, and they haven't really announced much connectivity other than, haven't they said like your information will travel between the two?
Yeah, I don't know. I have had a little bit of experience with Monster Hunter 3 going back and forth, and it's really cool and easy. So I imagine it'd be very similar.
Good deal. But
like your gameplay records and stuff, like your character will. They haven't really said too much. You said
they haven't said much, but like on Monster Hunter, you can literally move your whole profile back and forth without losing anything to each game. So I imagine it'd be very close to that. And they
and they have the whole Nintendo Network thing, right? So
they announced a couple new characters. What'd you think of the video intro with Sakurai and
that was awesome.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was so fun.
Was what, Iwata and Reggie.
Iwata and Reggie. Yeah.
Did you see that, Bill? Did you ever watch that part?
Nope.
Just watch the Nintendo press conference and just watch the first like 3 or 4 minutes of it. They do this huge fight between Iwata and Reggie, and then they have like Robot Chicken do a whole bunch of jokes that were pretty good too. It was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, no Mario games. it was pretty. You gotta watch it. It's like a 40-minute press conference. I mean, it's great. Go watch it.
And what do they put it on direct?
Yeah. Just YouTube. Hop on YouTube. You can watch it.
Yeah.
But they had like the tournament that was going on at the same time, so they really spent a lot of time talking about Smash, which makes sense because this is basically their big holiday title.
Yeah.
Right.
I made Fleech watch the last half hour of the tournament with me.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun, and there was like some huge moments too, where like the whole crowd was up, and like they made a big deal about it, and I think it got them a lot of good extra press.
Yeah, and some of the new characters they announced, like Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, yeah. Right? The Mii, they had like 3 different versions of the Mii.
Yeah, and you can like customize like the fighting style for the Mii.
Yeah, and Palutena, which I don't think anyone cared about from Kid Icarus.
I care.
You care?
I do. I like the Kid Icarus series.
Oh, I know you like the Kid Icarus series, but were you like, man, I really wish I could fight with Kid Icarus?
Well, no, but as soon as I saw her, I was like, oh, awesome. They haven't forgot about Kid Icarus completely. But yeah, I mean, like a big roster. Big roster in this game.
Yeah, they're not even done. Like, there's still some staples people are waiting to hear. Like, Captain Falcon hasn't been announced yet, and they haven't announced anyone else from F-Zero, so at least he's got to still be in it, and they're already over 30 characters, I think. Yeah,
you got to have the Falcon Punch.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's a staple.
But, I mean, from what I understand, I mean, you know, Mario Kart 8's been selling some Wii U's.
Yeah, it's been doing a bit better lately.
So, I
haven't had a single Wii U traded into the store since that game came out. Not one.
Yeah, I would imagine not. And I would imagine that I think the Wii U will have not a terrible holiday.
I think it will be a profitable system for Nintendo, but it's not going to outsell the other two.
Yeah. But, quite honestly, if you look at fall lineup,
Yeah.
it probably has the best fall lineup.
The Hyrule Warriors comes out. That one looks pretty decent.
Yeah. They've already got Mario Kart 8.
It's so weird how Hyrule Warriors come out. I know a ton of people that have never, ever played a Dynasty Warriors and have even, in some cases, like mocked it and made fun of it, and they're totally up for this game.
Of course. It's Zelda. You could probably paint a Triforce on a turd and people would pay big money for it.
You just rearrange the turd into a Triforce.
Oh, there
Don't
you
even
go.
have to waste any paint.
Well, let's talk about a few of the things that they showed on there. They talked about Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah.
I can't even say that.
Woolly World.
Yoshi's Woolly World, which is basically like sort of like the
Kirby's
Epic Yarn.
Yeah, which was really good.
And from the trailer, it looked like a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Kirby.
Yeah, yep. Kirby's got a new game, right?
Yeah, Rainbow Curse. You guys ever play Canvas Curse?
Yes.
A long time ago.
What'd you think of it, Bill?
That's one of the Kirby games that I played. It was cool. I forget how I got my hands on it because I didn't buy it. I think a friend let me borrow it and said, like, no, seriously, like, it's actually pretty good. And that's the one. Now I'm going to sound like an idiot. Is that the one where you can create your own platforms?
Yes. You draw on the bottom touch screen to like move them around.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I played that one and I played Epic Yarn on the Wii.
Right.
And those are the two that I've played in the last 5 years. I thought Canvas Curse was pretty cool. So I like how Kirby games in particular, like Nintendo makes a lot of games that take advantage of their technology, obviously, but I feel like Kirby games always have this unique way of making a game that you couldn't have made without, the system that they've made it on. So I thought they did a really good job of letting you kind of create your way through the level with the stylus.
So that's what it seems like they're doing with Rainbow Curse too. It's like the only game they announced where it's like, okay, you need the gamepad for that. Everything else, it's like, yeah, you could have played that on whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like, not to sidetrack, but Tearaway on the Vita is the only thing I've played on the Vita that I'm thinking the whole time playing it, you couldn't do this on anything else because they're using all of the things and it doesn't feel gimmicky. It feels like it belongs.
Sure. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Gravity Rush to a lesser extent too.
Yeah, that's my next one I'm playing, actually. It was a PSN last month. But yeah, so Kirby, I didn't see the footage of Kirby, but I'm always willing to play a Kirby
The
game.
art style's awesome. It's all like kind of claymation.
Yeah, it's a very unique art style. Yeah. Like Kirby turns into a tank. It's pretty cool. You need to watch the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty neat. So that was a big one. Splatoon. Surprise of the show.
Yeah. They spent a good chunk of time on it too.
And looks like tons of fun. So Wii U title, Splatoon, and Bill, so you've not seen this, right?
No.
Do you sound so excited?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, like I'm to the point with Nintendo where I'm like, you just have to, I just feel very recycled with the Nintendo stuff.
I think everyone felt like that, and that's why this game was a big surprise. It wasn't a recycling. It was the new IP that people have been bugging them about for a couple of years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in Splatoon, it's up to 4 players, and it's a shooter. But basically, you shoot paint, and the objective is to cover the arena in paint. Whoever gets the most paint wins.
Your team
the round.
all has like the same color, right? And you try and...
Yeah. Yep. So like 2-on-2. And so you're trying to cover more of the area of the playfield in paint, and you can paint over your opponents and vice versa. And you have a mode where you can turn into a squid.
Yeah, the movement's really cool, swimming through the paint.
Yeah, so if you're swimming through your paint, you can swim really quickly, so that way you can get to another area to kind of get back in the battle.
And you can like climb up walls onto platforms and stuff that way too.
Yeah, and if you run into the enemy's paint, though, you move like really slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't shoot while you're a squid, only when you're a person, so you do have to kind of switch back and forth a little bit. And they had like paint bombs and all sorts of crazy stuff. It looked like just one of those games that's simple, but probably just a ton of fun with some friends to sit down and play at the couch, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of sounds like a little bit like like a reverse Mario Sunshine.
Instead of cleaning
Kind of.
everything, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there. It's that same
Is it pretty much all multiplayer? So you team up and you have to just like splatter the map with as much of your color as you can?
That's all they really showed off. I'm not sure what the single player consists of.
Yeah, it's pretty much all that I saw of it. Was just the multiplayer stuff. So I think it's going to be probably even kind of like Mario Kart 8, probably online play sort of stuff. So you can team up if you don't have people around. But it looked really cool. And on like the gamepad, you could kind of see like a map of the area. And so you could see kind of what zones were covered with what paint. And you could tap to like jump right to one of your friends quickly. So that way you could move around the map really quickly with the gamepad. And I mean, it was very original. It was something that I never expected Nintendo to show off. Excited, Krabby?
Not particularly, no.
You don't like shooters.
I don't like shooters, even from the almighty Nintendo. I'll probably end up playing it with a friend and just seeing how it is, but it's not something I'm going to rush out and get.
All right. Well, I thought it was interesting. I mean, I don't know if I'd buy it, but I like go over to my buddy John's house and we'll play on the Wii U, and I can imagine this would be a lot of fun with a bunch of guys over there to enjoy that one.
So real quick, you just said that that the gamepad is used for traversing the environment.
Yes,
but if you're playing locally with more than just yourself, that's always the thing that bugs me about the Wii U is you still can't use more than one gamepad on local multiplayer, right?
This is correct. I think at one point they said that they would enable it to where you could use two gamepads, but they've never made a game that could do it.
I know that if you watch the next day, they had the Nintendo Treehouse, and they spent 2 or 3 hours on Splatoon, so they might have answered some of that stuff that I just didn't watch yet.
Yeah, I didn't see the breakout. I just saw the stuff in the Nintendo presser.
Yeah.
So, it looks cool. It just looks fun. I mean, I think that's the thing. Is it worth $60? I don't know.
And nothing will ever I always appreciate lots and lots and lots of bright colors.
Oh, it's very vibrant. Yeah.
Especially, and that's another thing I like about Far Cry 3 and 2, which is in Africa. But there's so many games, especially when you watch the Sony press conference, with the Order and all everything's dark and by torchlight. It's hey, how about more stuff that looks like Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare. I'll take more color.
Yeah. Well, moving on then, they had a couple other things that are definitely exclusive to the system, which, of course, most of their stuff is. But Bayonetta 2 got a little bit of an update, right?
Yeah, I was super excited with the extra content they're adding to it.
Yeah, so why don't you tell Bill about what they threw in Bayonetta?
You Bayonetta fan, Bill?
I played the demo for the first game. I'm just not good at action games. I appreciate it. I know that it's great. They frustrate me because I'm not Twitch.
Gotcha. So they announced that they are going to add the first game to the second game when you buy it in the same package.
Love it.
Yeah, for free.
That
I think everyone should do that.
But Krabby,
they're adding more.
Wait.
Sorry. I don't know what you're hinting at. You're going to have to just
It's a download code.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Yeah. Take it all back. This sucks.
But they added extra things, so, I mean, maybe it's worth it. Tell them what else they added.
Sabina is always about the weird costume she wears and stuff, and so they've given her a Samus costume, a Peach costume, and a Link costume, all with, special moves related to those characters.
Very cool.
Yeah, but
are the costumes even though they're Link costumes, are they Bayonetta sexified?
Oh yes.
Okay.
It is a very unusual Link costume. Yeah.
And I think those features though are just in the first game.
Yeah, I think so.
Gotcha. So Krabby, you're gonna have to. You've already bought it.
I have.
When you buy the,
I've had the third one, the PS3 version for a while. I haven't finished it, and I was going to just wait till this Wii U one. But now that you said it's a download code, I might just play the PS3 one and then.
So real quick, I'm sorry, it's a stupid question, but is the lady's name Bayonetta?
Yes.
Is that her first name or last name?
She actually has a real name. I'm trying to remember what it is.
And that's like her superhero name?
They just call her Bayonetta, but she has like a real name.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like Margaret Bayonetta.
Is it Serena?
I don't know. It's been too long.
It's when you play the game, they do like because there's the two witches and I can't remember both those. John is the other witch, but I think it's Serena is Bayonetta's name. But
do you guys both love Bayonetta?
I do. I loved it. It's
really fun.
Played the first one. It's really good. I played all the way through it.
Would you say that it's like one of the more difficult action games or more accessible action games?
Difficult.
But you can play it on easy if you want to.
You can, but even on easy, it's harder than like playing like Devil May Cry on easy.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not unbeatable, and even if you're not very good.
But like story wise too, and just humor and feel, it's very niche. I wouldn't call it accessible by any means.
Yeah, okay. It's very over the top. I think it does what it does very well.
Yes.
The story doesn't make any sense, but who cares? No. It's a pretty ridiculous story. As soon as you start getting into like, the right eye and all that, oh my gosh, just shoot yourself. Just don't even pay attention. Just play the game. It's fun.
So the Guns of the Patriots make an appearance in this game?
It's almost Kojima. It's almost Kojima, but you don't care. I mean, you just play the game. It's fun. But yeah, Bayonetta 1 and 2, man, I'm going to want a Wii U at some point. I know that. I'm going to want a Wii U.
I'm all in on the Wii U for $100.
Yeah, I think, right now you can get them refurbed for around $200 from Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Get me at the $150 mark, I'm in.
Yeah, a $150 bundled with a game, I think I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in at $150. So,
isn't it amazing how like Nintendo consistently seems to have some of the best exclusive titles and they still lag behind in console sales?
Wait a minute. They just destroyed on the Wii.
Yeah, that wasn't a lag behind.
No, they destroyed everybody on the Wii. Okay, so moving back, they got, of course, more console exclusive. So, Devil's Third. Finally, this game has been in limbo for eternity. Nobody had heard of Devil's Third for years, and all of a sudden it pops up Wii U exclusive.
Yeah, that's out of nowhere. Weird. Kind of like when they announced Bayonetta, just nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that Nintendo probably went to the guy and said, we'll cut you a check. Because I think it must have been like development limbo or something.
Yeah.
But it's the guy from Team Ninja, right?
Yep.
Itagaki is heading this one up. And did you watch much on it, Krabby?
It's a brand new breed of action.
Yeah, kind of. What did you think?
It doesn't look like my kind of game, but it looks like something that's a huge hole in the Wii U library that it's probably a good spot to fill it.
Yeah, this weird kind of combination of shooter and sword play.
Yep. Like a better Red Steel.
Maybe. But it looked interesting. I don't know if it's something where I'm like, boy, I really want to play this, but it looked interesting anyway. I think I'd probably need to see more on Devil's Third to really give a very good opinion on it.
Did they give a date for it?
I don't think so. They showed quite a bit of the game, though, so it looks like it's pretty far along. I would imagine it's not too far away.
All right. Here's one Bill might be interested in then. They announced a lot more for Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is what they're officially calling it now.
Yeah, I definitely would be interested in playing more Xenoblade Chronicles. The first game was fantastic. The Monolith, I got the GameStop release, the first release, the one that was actually new, and then realized it was like a 90+ hour game and just never, completed it. But enjoyed it very, very, very much.
Krabby, that excite you?
Absolutely. I still haven't even played mine. I've got a copy sitting here since it came out, and I just when I heard how long it was, I knew I didn't have enough time to dedicate to it yet. So it's something I want to get around to.
And it's scary when you find out a game is like, it's scary for me hearing that Skyrim and Fallout are that long, but I love the game so much that I don't mind. But it's really hard to hear that a game to complete the story takes that long, and it's it just makes you not want to boot it up sometimes because life.
But but the video looked so good for Xenoblade Chronicles. It
Very
looks
impressive.
like it's going to be fantastic.
I will have to say, I mean, Nintendo's definitely pushing some great looking graphics out of the Wii U, which granted they've had enough time to figure it out, but the stuff looks really good quality for what the hardware is. That's impressive. All right, so of course a few more other things that were there. So Mario versus Donkey Kong coming to the Wii U.
They're really fun games. I've played most of the DS ones.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're making the leap to the big boy console now.
Yeah, that's going to be download too, I'd assume.
I don't know. I didn't hear one way or another about that one. I just know it's coming.
I feel like I would like those games. I just don't, ever have the urge to go out and say, that's what I'm going to spend my time playing.
It's like Lemmings, but more accessible.
Yeah. It's an interesting game. I don't know if it's a system seller, but might be a fun one that's out there. How about Mario Party 10? Did anybody see that one coming?
I will get that.
We still play Mario Party 8 here at my house.
Yeah, Mario Party's still a staple around the old Nintendo.
Yeah.
No way. Fusion Frenzy.
Fusion Frenzy. Yeah, you rock on with your bad self.
Where was Fusion Frenzy 3 this year? Come on.
I know. I just keep playing Twisted System over and over again.
They ever make a Crash Bandicoot game like this? I know Crash ripped everything else off.
They had Crash Bash. Was that like a party game? I don't know.
Maybe. I remember Crash Bandicoots were like the crappy version of all those games. But
they had the cart, and you know who that was, right?
Kart.
That was Naughty Dog.
Yeah, back when they were learning their Sony programming chops.
Yeah. Glad they moved on.
Which is why in every Uncharted game there's a scene where you're running towards the camera.
There you go. Skylanders, new Skylanders.
It's coming out on everything. Yeah. My son's really excited about it.
What's the new gimmick?
This one sucks. More normally the other ones, if you already own the game on the system, you just buy the new game and you could still use your old stuff. This one's got a whole new portal that you're going to need, so everyone's going to need that stupid starter pack again.
Of course.
Isn't Swap Force like that? Don't you need like the Swap Force panel for the dual guys?
I didn't think you did, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that.
I know there's. I remember looking it up, and there's like a wiki graph of what you need depending on what you have. But I thought that the Swap Force guys needed a different portal and the regular and the Giants works together, but
you could be absolutely right on that. Yeah, I don't know. We ended up getting it just because we wanted it for the Wii U, and we didn't have a portal yet. So, I was
really surprised how good the writing and the voice acting was in the hour or two that I played of it. I'm just again, with the limited amount of time I have to play these days, it's, I'm sure I can find something else I'd rather play, but I'm sure that will become a staple in a few years.
They're not, well, I'd be surprised if it's around in a few years. They're fine games, but I think they're pulling a Guitar Hero again with Activision and just give us a year off every time they come out.
Come on, man.
We're still trying to collect one or two guys from the first run that we haven't got, and then we're missing, more and more every year it comes out, and it's just feeling overwhelming.
Yeah, it was kind of like drilling back to Battlefield. Remember they came out after they showed us, this does not mean we're annualizing Battlefield. Except we are annualizing Battlefield.
Whenever you say you're not doing something, that's the thing you're doing.
Exactly. You just don't want to say you're doing it. Mario Maker.
Looks very cool. Yeah.
Who thought that was coming?
I'm in. Well, I thought it was coming once it was leaked.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And then I was pretty sure that it was coming. But yeah, it's seeing some of the footage of how it works and building your levels and getting to play through them. I'm all in. That's totally awesome. Very, very cool idea.
I have a friend who we've been playing through the Super Mario World Return to Dinosaur Land fan hack.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a feeling if we both grab Mario Maker, we'll have some fun time, destroying each other with just really tough levels to get through.
It makes me interested to see how this turns out, because is this basically Nintendo looking at something like Little Big Planet and going, yeah, that thing you do? yeah, it's kind of crappy. We'll do it right. Is it going to kind of demolish that?
Hopefully.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be. I just wonder how limited the tool set's going to be too, though. I mean, maybe
I hope it is not as. I hope it's more limited than Little Big Planet. I get overwhelmed looking at those ones. I want really easy. Really,
I was
really
just thinking
easy.
the same thing. Yeah, I'd rather have it be more accessible than have every single option you could imagine.
And did you see like all the tools when you're building a level, how it kind of records where you've been and where you jumped and everything else, so it can help you to really design a playable level, as opposed to some of the garbage you can get, you know.
See, I'm not planning to make something too playable. It's supposed to be brutal.
Well, you want to make sure it's possible, though, right?
Possible, yes, but not fun.
Is it kind of like that video, no doubt you guys have seen it, where that guy plays through this incredibly horrible level of Super Mario Brothers over and over?
Yes.
If you just mute that video, it can be...
if you mute it, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, but just don't listen to the guy. It's interesting. My question is, why not a 3DS version?
I'm sure if it does well, they'll move it all over the place.
So here's the other big question for you guys. So do you think this will eventually lead to Super Mario Brothers 2 Maker?
No, it'll be Luigi Maker.
I don't see 2 for some reason being as iconic as 1. I could see it for 3 if you add all the different suits in 3.
It's just gonna be download packs for the other games, right? Here's the Shy Guy pack. Here's the Birdo pack.
No, Nintendo.
Here's the Wart pack.
What?
If it was any other console maker, I'd say yes. But I think Nintendo is. I think Nintendo would, even if they're downloadable, I think it'd be like another game.
Yeah, why would they sell you a $20 add-on when they can sell you a $50 game? It's just, that's probably the way it'll go. Well, I think it's interesting. It's kind of neat. As long as they make it easy to share levels and try out different ones, I think it'll be a lot of fun. Captain Toad.
I'm actually really excited about this, and not just because it's Toad.
Did you like the levels in Super Mario?
I loved them. They were like the gem of the game. Like, they were really fun. You look forward to finding the next one.
Really? You thought that was the gem of that game?
I did. I liked that better than the meat and potatoes of Mario 3D Land.
Wow, that's a pretty big statement, because there wasn't a lot of those levels in there, really.
Yeah, I'm down for more.
It looked fun. I mean, obviously the ones that are in, the last Mario game were kind of interesting little 3D puzzles, so it'll be cool to kind of see some more of this stuff.
Yeah, this is a early buy for me.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, well, there you go. And then we can move on. There's Fantasy Life with the 3DS. Did you guys check this one out?
No, not really. I'm a big Level 5 fan, but I did not really pay any attention to this one.
Big layer guy, are you?
You know it. No, more like Professor Layton.
I did watch some of this stuff, and it looks like you can do like buddy up co-op, and what you do is you have like different jobs that you can take on. So, you might be like a cook or a blacksmith or whatever, and you like a lumberjack, and you kind of switch your jobs up and go play through the world to get different items that you can do different things with. And I mean, it looked like kind of an interesting little take on an RPG. But like certain jobs, of course, can fight. Certain jobs, are gathering certain resources, etc. So I don't know if I got enough of an idea just by what I saw to really understand completely, but it looks like an interesting game. It might be worth checking out at some point in time.
Yeah, Level 5 stuff's usually really solid. I don't think it'll be bad by any means.
No, the obligatory new Pokemon games.
The remakes, yep.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people excited about this at the store.
Really?
Tons. Yeah, this is probably the thing I heard more about than anything else they announced.
So why?
Just because it's Pokemon. People are still into it like it's brand new or something. Like, I don't know. We just did a gathering a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a few of the people there that had their 3DSs, and some of them had all 718. I found out that's how many Pokemon there are. Collected
Wow.
across all the games, and they had them organized in the box, from 1 to all in order of their Pokemon number.
No way.
Yeah, and like they're really into it still. It's like still a huge thing, and these people are in their 30s now.
That's crazy. I guess I was just maybe just a little too old to get Pokemon, so I've missed out. I just don't. I don't know the deal.
I played a lot of Blue maybe a year after it came out, and I still like it, but I never got that much into it as a lot of the people that I see in the store. It's still a huge franchise.
That's amazing. I'm sure they'll continue to sell truckloads of copies of these things. So.
If they made like just a really basic, like the same as the handhelds, but just put it on the Wii U, I don't even care if it's a direct port of any of them, I would buy that right away. That would be awesome.
Oh, don't worry, there'll be some amiibos for you to buy.
Oh man, so many amiibos
at some point. 700 and whatever amiibos.
718 amiibos. That's a lot of dollars.
There you go. I'm sure they'll have a few. You'll get your Pikachu or something in there, right?
Get my Snorlax amiibo.
Right. And then they had a Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright for the 3DS.
Yeah, that's. I think that's been out in Japan for quite a while now, and it was rumored to be localized a long time ago, and it's finally making its way over.
I didn't hear good things about the Japanese version, so I'm kind of a little worried.
I'm still depressed that they haven't made a console, like especially a Wii U Professor Layton game.
Those would seem like a no-brainer.
Yeah, puzzles with that pad would be unreal, just awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy how they miss the bus sometimes, though, right?
Yep.
Few of the things they had, Codename Steam. Did you guys watch Codename Steam?
No, I missed that. Tell me more.
That was that big third day announcement where they were holding off. We've got something new. We're going to hold off on telling you about it. So Codename Steam is a 3DS title. It's, I'm trying to think if I can explain how it is. It kind of reminds me of Valkyria Chronicles to a degree.
Ooh, listening.
But it's like steampunk.
Still in. That sounds really good.
So it's kind of just a strategy game, of course, where you sort of move around more of in a first-person-ish kind of thing. So
you're losing me again. Go back to the other stuff.
I'm sorry, not first person, third person. I mean, just from what I saw of it, it did very much remind me of a steampunky Valkyria Chronicles. So
sweet, no, I'd be totally behind that. Valkyria Chronicles is still one of my like top PS3 games. So much fun.
Well, I think Codename Steam will probably be right up your alley then.
I will add that to the watch list.
Yeah, go check out they did a treehouse thing on it. So cool. Go watch the YouTube of it or whatever.
Nice.
Wrapping a couple of things up just for a minute there. Fossil Fighters is coming to 3DS. I know Fossil Fighters is huge. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've never played it.
But I know a lot of kids were really into Fossil Fighter. I watched some friends' kids play a lot of Fossil Fighter, so that's a big deal. I think it'll probably sell a lot of copies. They didn't show anything, but Shin Megami Tensei or Crossfire Emblem is still moving along. Right?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to like a big trailer or something for that, and yeah, I was so sad after that direct. There was nothing. That was my number one game I wanted to see more on, and I didn't get nothing.
Sorry about you, Crabo.
Yeah. At least they said it's like still a thing. It's not like they're Last Guardianing it and just not talking about it.
Hey, that's not canceled.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And then probably to wrap, the weirdest thing to me was what they had Miyamoto doing.
Oh, with his little quirky games he's working on?
Yeah, I was like, this is our top man. Here's the goofball games that are not really games that he's doing.
That's probably more his decision than theirs. He's like, I just want to screw around now. You know, I've earned my time. Let me do whatever I want now.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think he's on staycation.
But basically, you just had like what were basically some fancy tech demos that people could play, right?
The one that everyone was excited about, though, that they like blurred out is him playing Star Fox.
Yeah, but like a really, really early version.
He says he's working on it to the point where they didn't even want to show it, so they like blurred the screens in all the demos.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess we're talking,
they said 2015, but
super
that would
alpha.
Be, yeah.
Probably just proof of concept, because I think they said they're farming that out. Is that what they said for development?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear about that.
It was one of their games. They said they kind of were working on the car concepts and were going to farm it out. So I don't know if it was that one or one of the other ones, but I can imagine they can't keep everything going.
Yeah.
But they have things like I'm sorry.
They usually pick good companies to farm things out, though. It's not like when what was it, like Aliens, Colonial Marines, and stuff when they farm them out. Yeah. Nintendo usually picks someone who's gonna, like, even with Other M. Like, I know it's not everyone's favorite Metroid. It wasn't not a broken game though. Like, it played well, did what it was supposed to.
Yeah, well, even when they bring other people in to finish, Nintendo still has a lot of control. Over
there
what
was a
comes out.
couple, especially with the Bayonetta guys, Platinum.
Yep.
There's like interviews with them, and they were just talking about how it is working with Nintendo. And yeah, it sounds like Nintendo's, lets them do their thing to a point. When they get to point in certain areas, he's like they really step in and make a lot of requests.
And good for them. Good for them. But they had like a lot of things like see Project Giant Robot. Did you?
Yep, I saw that.
Did you see the ridiculous Fizamech versus giant robot?
No, I missed that.
Check that out on YouTube. You can watch Fizamech versus Project Giant Robot.
That's awesome.
It's goofy and kind of fun. But that's probably most of the big things for E3, right?
You missed the biggest one.
Oh, what? What did I forget?
You forgot to even mention the Zelda reveal.
Oh, that's right. Because just like Crackdown, just like Uncharted 4, here's a trailer of something.
Here's a trailer. But I don't know, that trailer seemed to get people pretty pumped.
Okay, well, it was, here's some grass. Here's some grass, and see Zelda's, Link's out there, right?
And you can walk all the way to those mountains.
You could.
It said you could do that.
You could. It's all in engine. And then Cartoon Link shoots a giant robot crab.
Not Cartoon Link.
It was kind of like cartoony.
Oh, Toon Link's like a third that size, and like his head's as big as his body.
Well, I mean, like the style was very,
It's very like a pastel painting almost, or something like that.
I was about to say, to me, it's the most interesting art style in a Zelda game since Skyward Sword. But I guess that was the last official console release, so
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't make sense to say that. I thought the art style was really cool. I have no problem with the direction they seem to be heading with this game. I think it looks fantastic. I'm trying not to give too many crazy points to anybody for games that are really far out. I'm trying to look at the stuff that's on the horizon. So while I'm definitely excited, I was going to be buying it, no matter what. I'm a little bit happier after seeing the video because I do think it looks really, really cool.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah. There's just lots of talk about how the character looked too, whether it actually is Zelda. There's a lot of people that think it might be a female or even a customizable lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that I remember that story came out, and then I think it wasn't even like a day later where Nintendo was like, no, that's a dude. Like, don't take us out of don't make us don't get that story out there. They're like, no, it's definitely Link.
Yeah. Let's run through just a couple of the quick things to round out Nintendo. Stop me if there's anything you want to talk about. But Harvest Moon 3D.
Yeah.
Crabby? No.
I like Harvest Moon. I need more space in between my Harvest Moons though.
Yeah, getting too much
But
overdose.
my wife.
I need like Zelda space, like 3 or 4 years in between each Harvest Moon, and I'd be happy.
Oh, well, you're not going to get that.
No.
My wife's into. She has a 3DS and she has Animal Crossing, and she's been waiting for another Harvest Moon to come out, so she will probably be into this.
It's coming. There she goes, ready to go. To go along with Smash, they're doing that crazy GameCube controller adapter. So that's
Oh yeah, that looks. When they showed the mock-up of the just a black GameCube controller with the Smash logo in the middle.
Yep.
I was really hoping that wasn't a mock-up and that was the thing, and it is a thing. So I'm pre-ordering that $100 bundle to get the adapter and the controller with my game.
awesome. I'm sure they broke out the old plastic molds and start making controllers again.
Dusted them off, and yeah.
Sonic Boom
Looks awful.
looks terrible.
The Sonic got a little good for a while. Colors was good, Generations was good, Rush was good, and then
I love Generations.
Yeah, Generations is awesome. And then I picked up Lost World on the Wii U, and you can kind of see what they were going for, and it feels like it should work, but it doesn't. It just feels awful, and this just looks like more of that.
Oh man, this is like super deformed kind of what are like. They look like, oh, I'm bad, you know. Look at me, I've got bandages.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I'm starting to appreciate the bad Sonics because it makes the few good ones feel all the better.
Yeah, Sega, come on. Can I just be in charge of Sega for like a day?
Have you guys seen that YouTube video? It's like a British band a few years ago. It was Sonic Doesn't Need a Story.
I don't think so.
It's really good. It's I can't sing it, but it's like the lyrics are like, Sonic doesn't need a story. He runs fast and gets rings and loop-de-loops his way into your heart.
Awesome.
And that's all he needs to do.
Put a link in the show notes. We'll check it out.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. The song will get stuck in your head, so I'll let you go do it.
There you go. Pushmo World.
Love it.
Really?
Super excited.
Really?
I love Pushmo.
I don't know what a Pushmo is.
Explain Pushmo.
Of course you wouldn't, and this is not a trolley thing. It's download only. So that's why I don't know what it is. Pushmo was a game that came out for like $5 or $10 on 3DS as a downloadable title only. Got a lot of hype because it was really good. Just watch like a YouTube video on it. It's super, super simple, but very, very good. Kind of like it's not like Picross. It's like Picross in that it's really simple, and once you get the hang of it, it's really addictive. So it's a platformer, but like basically you have to push and pull the blocks to enable yourself to get to the top of like a level. And they use like all different, kind of Nintendo shapes. Like they use like the 8-bit Link, like they use a level shaped like him, but you have to like push and pull things out. It's really hard to describe, but watch a YouTube video. You basically are pulling and pushing the bits of the level, forward and backwards so you can jump on them to pretty much get higher up. Great game on the 3DS. Really easy just to pick up and play. So they announced they're going to be doing Pushmo World, which is just a revamped version for the Wii U, and it's only $10.
Awesome. Great deal.
See, that sounds awesome. That makes me a little reminiscent for the days where you could pick those up on a cart.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, I every time I see one of these things, I'm like, oh, Krabby would love that. I hope they throw it on a collection disc or something.
Me too.
In a side note, Krabby, have you looked at Shovel Knight?
No.
That will be the game that will make you break your no downloadable games rule.
I've only broken that rule once, and that was for Mega Man 9.
Yeah.
Trust me. Go check out Shovel Knight. You'll break your rule.
Shovel Knight.
Nah.
Don't start. Don't start with me, mister. Just go check it out. Go watch.
Too busy spending my monies on magical chases.
Man, I'm just telling you, do yourself a favor. Go watch. Skipping through just a little bit, just to wrap up. They're doing a new Shantae game on 3DS and Wii U.
Yeah.
That is interesting to me.
Yeah, Shantae, sleeper hit originally, Game Boy Color, made a new game that was download only.
Very expensive Game Boy Color game now.
Yes, but you can do the virtual console version. And then they did a downloadable DSiWare game, I want to say.
Who owns the license for Shantae?
I don't know who owns that. It's probably some weird company like Natsume or something. Who knows? And
Atlas.
What's that?
Atlas.
Atlas, is it?
I don't know.
But anyway, they're making a new Shantae game, so that's kind of cool if you like those really cutesy platformer kind of fun. But Shantae was a good game.
Yeah, so. You get to play as a lady too, so it's awesome.
Which is why it didn't sell.
Important these days, obviously, it seems.
Yep, just speaking truths.
Right.
No, I agree.
It's a great game, but
I think Mirror's Edge would have like doubled sales if they had like Tough Guy as the main character.
Yeah, but Tough Guy, I don't know if Tough Guy and Gymnast go together.
No, but parkour guys, when you see them on TV, they're always guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just
except
make them...
when it's girls, they break their face and they end up on Tosh.0.
Just mention real quick too. Hey, for those of you folks that aren't rich, Mega Man X3 is going to come to Virtual Console. So there you go.
That's cool.
So save up your few dollars or whatever the case is. And that probably wraps up the big things for Nintendo. So So what'd you think, Crab? If you had to give Nintendo a letter grade, what do you think?
I was really happy. I was really pleased, especially with the comedy right at the start.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Fight, yeah, and the little robot chicken blurps every few minutes throughout the whole thing really hit the spot for me. I watch a lot of Robot Chicken at work because it's on Adult Swim in the middle of the night. So yeah, I'd go like A-.
Wow, A-.
Whoa, slow down.
If they did that Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem, anything about that, and they didn't even show another game, I would have A+ that one, but that's where they lost their marks.
So all the other games made it worse?
All the other games like made up for not having that game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it took a lot of other games to fill that void for me.
Gotcha.
Wow, that's a pretty impressive showing, I think. So Bill.
See, you're like Sony. You won't have your press conference before you've already gotten to hear everyone else's press conference.
Oh, I can go next if you want.
No, it's fine. I do think Nintendo had the strongest showing of games as far as like things that I looked at and I was like, yeah, I would definitely be into playing that. So I think I'm going to bump them up to a C.
A C.
A C. Because there's nothing to me, like, again, there's nothing that hit me like, oh, that's the thing. I'm buying one tomorrow. Or even this year. Like, I'm still on the same, like, ooh, that's really cool. Same boat as I was before. When it hits like 100 or 150, I'll grab one and then I will just add some of these games to the list of Wii U games that I want to play.
All right.
At least by the time you get one, there should be a ton of cool stuff to play.
Oh yeah, and I know, Crab, I think you said that you weren't as crazy about Mario 3D Land as you were about the Galaxy games, but I'm still really looking forward to playing 3D Land.
Yeah, I thought Galaxy was a million times better. Not that 3D Land bad, just Galaxy was so good.
Yeah, Galaxy's one of my favorite games of the last of the last 10 years. I mean, I remember like I was hardcore 360 for a long time, and it was right when I was really hardcore into achievements too. And then Galaxy came out, and I bought it and brought it home, and everything about that game spoke to me. The music, the atmosphere, like the stars, like hitting, the landscape, collecting them, with the cursor. Oh man, that game is unbelievably great.
Word.
Personally, I would give Nintendo a B. I was pretty impressed by what they showed. There's some titles I'm excited to get for my 3DS, and this is the first time I've actually looked and said, I want a Wii U. So I think they did a good job. They came out, they did what they needed to do. They focused on the right stuff, and they really entertained me, which is a lot more than I could probably say for the other two conferences. It was fun to watch. So maybe there's something said for scripting your thing versus doing a live thing.
I will definitely agree with that.
I would watch a live Iwata Reggie battle. Come on.
Yeah, I think Iwata was getting laid up in the hospital at the time. Wouldn't have been much of a fight. Very good. So I think that really probably covers. I mean, don't get me wrong. We had EA. They had their own press conference, but is there anything you guys want to talk about from EA at all?
I mean, I'm really excited about NHL 15 being the first next-gen hockey game, but I know that's just because I'm a hockey fan, and same would go for basketball and football and soccer. If you're into those sports, you'll probably be excited. But yeah, I mean, nothing that, no surprises there. Like, new sports game looks better, hopefully plays better. It'll be out for, the same time it was last year for the same price, so, no surprises there.
Mirror's Edge 2, I was really hoping to see more of. I was kind of disappointed, kind of like the Fire Emblem Shin Megami. Like, it was nothing really new.
Did they really even show much of anything? I mean...
No, like kind of teaser stuff, and then like there was old trailer that they showed last year, they showed again. And yeah.
Oh, and yeah, what's it? I think they said the Criterion guys are working on another racing game, but they didn't show anything.
Yeah, they just showed like a development diary of them, like with cameras, like jet skiing and air gliding, and
Right.
Yeah,
so it's going to be like an extreme driving game, most likely open world like Burnout. And as a huge Burnout fan, I'm intrigued, but, since they didn't really show anything, we know it's kind of far off.
They did that a lot, though. Like, they did that with Star Wars Battlefront. They did that with Mass Effect. They did that with Mirror's Edge. They did that with the game you were just talking about. Like, a lot of nothing. No
EA's
substance.
slogan for the year was like, we're working on stuff. Trust us on this one.
The slogan was like, 2015 is going to be awesome.
The one thing I would say from the EA conference is that I'm pumped for is Dragon Age Inquisition, but they showed that in a lot of places, so there's nothing new to see in their conference at all.
Yeah. You're a big Mass Effect guy. What did you think about the Mass Effect stuff?
It wasn't anything really. It was just like, here's some, rendered scenes.
And honestly, like I didn't even know they did that until a few days ago because nobody reported on it because it was so little.
It was a non-mention.
It was like, hey, it exists. Well, okay, cool.
Yeah, it was basically, hey, remember us? We're doing Mass Effect. Don't worry, it'll be here sometime. And they also said, hey, we're BioWare. We're also making a new IP. What is it? Who knows? Let's just keep going. Okay, yay.
Like Mass Effect 4 is one of the like Far Cry and Mass Effect are the two that pop into my head right now that are like my no doubt day one buys.
Yeah.
And most everything else I can wait.
Yeah. I'm going to get Dragon Age. That's going to be my big fall game. So I'm excited about that one.
My big fall game that was supposed to be out and was supposed to make me get a PS4 got delayed.
Wah, wah.
What was it?
Wah, wah. I got to wait till next year for my Batman.
Which Batman?
Arkham Knight.
I didn't know that night got delayed past October.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like March or something like that next year, 2015.
Oh
now.
Man,
yeah,
that was one of my big ones for the holiday too.
Yeah, every year it is like launched on my birthday or within a day of it, so it's been like a no-brainer. Like I can spend birthday money to go buy Batman, and it's not happening for the first time in the last 3 years. So I'm a little bummed about that.
Well, we're not annualizing Batman.
Not anymore. That's one thing I could have taken an annual. Maybe after this one I needed a break, but
I know we mentioned it briefly in the 360 conference, but anyone, just since we're wrapping up here, anyone excited for Unity?
No.
What is Unity? Oh, Assassin's Creed Unity. Yeah, I guess we never mentioned that whole.
I'm excited for the next Assassin's Creed because I think in the last 3 games they've hit every like era and time period and culture that I have no interest in. So they've got to be good after this.
Well,
yeah, it's gonna go to Assassin's Creed, Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, I'd be all over that.
Well, I tell you what. I mean, we'll hit Ubisoft here and say just want to make sure. Is there any other EA stuff we want to talk about?
Is there anything else too? Oh, you guys, what about the Rainbow Six thing?
That was my best thing of the Xbox One show.
That wasn't EA, sorry. That was Ubisoft, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Ubisoft.
Sorry.
It's all right. Any other EA excitement? There really wasn't much to talk about in EA, so that's why I didn't want to give it too much time.
Yeah.
I would give, personally, I tried to watch the EA conference and I just about fell asleep. So if I had to give it a letter grade, I think I'd probably give it like an F. It was terrible. God almighty, don't waste your time. I don't know if you guys want to chime in, but,
I actually had some hopes for that because I wanted to know about Mass Effect and Mirror's Edge, and I was bummed for both of those. So, yeah, I'd be like a D, C-, somewhere in there.
Yeah. I'm really getting to the point where, like, it's so much time to watch all the E3 footage. I'm really thinking about watching recap videos next year.
I don't blame you.
I had a lot of fun, even with the bad press conferences, with what I did this year, which was just having a bunch of buddies over. We had another TV set up, so when there was lagging moments we were waiting, we were just playing Mario Kart.
I definitely do that.
Yeah, and that was, Fleech brought up the big box of NES games, so when there was dull moments, Mike and me and Fleech were going through this huge box of Nintendo games, which was a ton of fun. And it was a good day, even during the dull parts.
Cool. So, Bill, what do you think? EA? Grade?
F.
Okay, I think we're probably on the same page.
Yeah, I mean it's and again, not to say that there's not a whole bunch of games in that whatever you call it, show, press, or whatever that I'd be interested in playing. Just overall, I'm I'm interested in a handful of things. I'm going to get hockey. Show me more Criterion stuff. Of course, everyone likes BioWare, but like, you know, it was a whole lot of like, you're going to be so happy you bought that new system in 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys are mean. I don't Fs. You guys are mean.
Well, no, I like some of the games that are coming out, but their presser was terrible.
Yeah,
it was
do
terrible.
a better show.
You showed up. You tried. That's worth a D.
No.
Hey, that's a you problem if you show up with a bad show. I'm not. It's not a me problem that I don't give you a good grade.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. Ubisoft. So I think we've already gotten into that. So gosh almighty. Which one do you guys want to start with?
I mean, it's hard for me to think of anything else Ubi showed other than Far Cry.
Well, we're talking about Assassin's Creed Unity and Rainbow Six. So
Assassin's Creed looks like the most interesting co-op I could imagine Assassin's Creed having. That being said, I can't imagine consistently getting together with 4 people to play co-op Assassin's Creed.
Especially since there's no women. No,
doesn't bother me at all.
That's why I won't be playing.
No female assassins. I'm out.
I have a woman in my life who can just be my assassin.
It's very sexist, Bill, for you to say that.
Well, you know, so wait a minute. Since you know how like women in this country, they make less than men.
Do they? I thought that was a thing in the past.
Oh no, that's the wave of the future.
Oh, okay.
So since they make less than men, then I think Unity would have to have cost less because they wouldn't have had to pay the female assassins as much to be in the game.
Something like that. Yeah, there was that huge stink, right? Huge stink about them not having female characters.
And I think someone just asked, in a Q&A afterwards, like, "Hey, can you play as female assassins?" And they were like they never even considered doing that. They're like, "Oh, no, gender's not a thing you can choose. Like, everyone's just a dude assassin."
Yeah.
And then that became the joke of the show. It was like everyone after that was like,
"No, it's because they made a comment
can you play
about
as a female?"
They made some excuse about how they couldn't justify the cost for the extra development time.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. Because then, what was the other company?
They said that we have to do all the extra motion capture and everything for a female, and that's expensive.
Yeah,
and
but what was the Xbox
Sunset
exclusive?
Overdrive?
So, they
Sunset
threw one up
Overdrive,
the next week. Yeah, to show them that it was like full
and
of
it
crap.
looked just like an Assassin's Creed character.
Yeah.
It's like, check out your new costume for your. It's like, that's great.
I love that. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of.
What about Valiant Hearts, Bill? That seems like a Bill kind of game.
It could be. I don't know. Like, I'm a little world warred out.
Okay, I can understand that.
But definitely one of those things that I could, get behind. I don't know. Like, I know like a lot of people are like kind of like over the whole zombie craze. I'm a little bit over just like everything is World War. Art style is super interesting. It's kind of like a weird animation / cell shaded, kind of cool art style. But yeah,
That's out now, right?
I
think that's out now.
I don't know.
It could be really interesting.
It's download. I don't follow that.
Yeah. You know what I don't know we mentioned yet? They showed the new Play Dead game and I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know what Play Dead means.
Play Dead are the guys who made Limbo.
Oh, starts with an I. It was in the Xbox presser.
Right.
No, it wasn't Isolation. It was something.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it a whole lot, because it's, been hours, literally.
Yeah.
It's called Inside.
Inside, yeah.
If not like Valiant Hearts is like similar to that, but like if I'm going to play a game that's kind of has like a dark, moody, atmospheric type game, Inside, it definitely strikes me as something like if the two of them are sitting side by side, I'm playing Inside all day long. But I don't know, like World War, just a little bit World War'd out right now.
Rainbow Six.
Ugh, number one.
Oh man, that Rainbow Six looks like so much fun.
I have so many questions about this. I want so are those voices do those voices dynamically change exactly how they did while they were playing? Because if those voices would have happened regardless of what was going on, it wouldn't have been that cool. But if those voices change depending on what's going on, and if they're as quick and as fluid as they were in that demo, it could actually feel like you're playing with those AI partners, which would be so cool. Really, really, really impressed with the way that looks, especially just tactically being able to move through areas with a team like that. That's huge for me.
Yeah, I didn't think that was supposed to be like the AI. I thought it was just like supposed to be your buddies just chatting.
I thought it was people's too.
The only thing that made me think it was like AI buddies is like those voices were definitely pre-recorded.
Oh, of course.
If they were just trying to show that like, oh, like this is how you would play the game like this, then that's one thing. But I kind of took away that like that is how the game will play, like in the single player mode with those recorded like squad voices.
Maybe.
But
I thought it was just an incredibly scripted multiplayer.
Oh, I think
match.
it was, sure. But the idea being so cool that you can just like blow through ceilings, walls. Bad guys can barricade. It looked like this like really elaborate setup that was going on. So it looked like it would be a ton of fun to play online. And they did announce that you can have both male or female hostages. So they didn't want to leave us guys out. Everybody's got to be inclusive these days.
Yeah. Do they have the Assassin's Creed garb to dress them into?
No. But in the demo, it was like a woman, so it was a big thing.
Yeah.
They wanted to come out and say, no, there's male hostages too. So don't worry, we're not just picking on the ladies.
Get to save the baby?
No, I'm God Almighty. No, I want to be like Speed though, right? Like I want to be like, shoot the hostage, right? What do you do? What do you do? Shoot the hostage. Oh man. Nobody's gonna know that reference.
oh yeah, I've seen it. Pop quiz, hot shot.
That's right. Pop quiz.
Yeah.
What do you do?
And then the sequel with Jason Patrick on a
That
boat
was so terrible.
going 10 knots.
Speed was
Once this boat goes 10 knots, the boat is on.
Speed was an
Talk
entertaining
about
romp.
a different movie.
Yeah, Speed 2 is terrible. Oh gosh, terrible. All right. So Ubisoft also showed off a couple of things, just quick. Just Dance. That'll probably end up in my house just because it's Just Dance. And they also have the cool cell phone Let's Dance. You could dance with your cell phone.
Yeah, that was unusual.
That looked weird. That's all I've got to say. I have no idea what that was all about.
They always demo those games too for like so long.
Yeah. And they
like,
shouldn't.
Yeah, no, I understand. You got to talk about them, tell people they're out there, spend a couple minutes, but they go way overboard with those games. The exercise ones and the dance ones, like too much.
Yeah, what was that weird? I don't remember the name of it. The real weird exercise game they had where the guys were doing like the push-ups.
Push-ups with a boat on them and a whale.
Yeah, I was like, I have no idea what this is, and I have no interest whatsoever.
I don't remember what it was called either.
I think Ubisoft is like the only one that's going to support the Kinect anymore.
Yep.
I mean, it's them. I think even Microsoft's given up on it. Ubisoft's saying, nope, we'll still make Kinect games, don't worry.
No, yeah, Microsoft totally supports it in the dashboard.
And they made Just Dance, so I guess they haven't totally forgot about it. Oh, and Fantasia. But anyway.
Well, that's Harmonix?
Yeah, but I think Microsoft's probably footing the bill. So is Dance Central. That's Harmonix.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. So probably not anything else that's ultra exciting about Ubisoft. So overall, grades, Ubisoft?
B.
B, really?
Yeah. I got they have more games that I'm buying definitely as soon as I can than anybody else that showed games. So
crazy.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me. It makes sense, but it's weird to hear it.
Well, Ubisoft had they had Far Cry and Rainbow Six.
Far Cry Rainbow Six. And again, it's there's more games and other shows that I'm curious and excited for. But as far as near term, what am I getting soon? Definitely those two. And one of them I knew was going to be good. The other was kind of a surprise because you never know. Tom Clancy games can kind of run the gamut from interesting to not my thing. I was very, very happy the direction they're taking it. And I think Assassin's Creed, since I love 4 so much, Unity might end up in my library. We'll see, how, if I can fit it in. But yeah, I'm all in on the games that I like from Ubi.
What about The Division? Is that a Bill game?
It's hard to say because it got delayed. And I don't think it got delayed because they need more time to work on it. It got delayed because they were like, yeah, we're really not sure what direction we want to take the game in, which kind of says to me that like the game's not very good, so we'd like to change it.
Right.
But and I remember, I think it was earlier this year, so like someone from UB, like on a press conference call, no, on a earnings call or something, was like, yeah, it's coming out this year. And then someone interviewed a developer like the next day, and he's like, I don't know why the hell he said it's coming out this year. It's like not even 10% done. So, Division could be cool. Every screenshot you see, like, it's beautiful, new engine. I would need to, I need more info.
So, Krabby, Ubisoft, great. What do you think?
Slightly lower than EA. D-? Is that a thing?
Wow. Well, I can see that. Your tastes. That makes sense.
I don't like Ubisoft. They're one of my least favorite companies. I get more out of Activision and EA than them.
Interesting.
I thought you'd be, I guess they didn't show Raving Rabbids, and that's one of your jams.
I used to be in Rabbids. They overdid it.
Okay. Me, I would give them probably C+. I think the show itself, like the Ubisoft press conferences, was bad. The games they showed were good, but
yeah.
I had to give them a downgrade just because their press conference was boring and bad. They had Aisha Taylor out there, who I like.
Yeah, she's normally funny, but she's really bad on these press conferences.
Yeah, I think whatever, they just didn't script her real well, because she came out and she tried to be like way too like hardcore, and it just wasn't very good.
My grade might be lower if I had watched the show instead of just a recap.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because if I had to sit through a boring show, that probably would have affected it. Also, for a company that I actually kind of enjoy a lot of their games, I really don't like Yves Guillemot, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I really don't like him at all.
While.
Yeah, it was.
I think he knows people don't like him, so he doesn't do the whole thing anymore.
Yeah, I think it's a smart idea for them to hire Aisha to come out to do the show. They just don't think they scripted her really well.
Right, or like there was no rehearsal.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know if it's her fault. I'm sure they wrote that stuff for her, but
she's done it 3 years in a row. They obviously like what she's doing.
Yeah, and I think so too. She's
I like her a lot.
Oh so. Yeah, me too. Very good. Well, I think that wraps up the big guys, because their Activision really didn't do a thing. Right, they didn't have a big thing.
What would they have done anyway? Skylanders?
Well, whatever the next Call of Duty.
They don't need to do Call of Duty because, Microsoft pays them to headline it at their show.
Exactly.
So it's like, what else are they going to show? So, I don't think they need to.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have some titles, but they didn't bother to put together. It's fine. I don't think they probably didn't have enough to...
Yeah, and then when you get the Blizzard stuff, it's like, well, they're going to talk about that at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
So...
Makes sense for Activision to probably just not do a big to-do. But, there's probably some other oddball announcements, but is there anything particular you guys want to talk about from anybody else that happened during the show?
I will let Krabby go first.
Yeah, I don't have too much. I was happy with the Nintendo Treehouse stuff. It was cool to see all the stuff like hands-on as much as you wanted. You didn't have to see like very... scripted like what they wanted you to see. You could actually watch people playing them and talking about them and stuff. I can get behind that.
Yeah, they did a really good job. I would agree. There was like wall-to-wall coverage from Nintendo. If you wanted to watch it, it was there for sure. There was probably not a whole else that excited me personally. That was announced outside of the major things. I kind of watched some more of the Treehouse stuff to see a little bit more about some of the games, but really, once the big guys did their stuff, it wasn't nothing too killer. Bill, anything?
Not really. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other things that we haven't really touched on too much. But they're all going to be like, opinion, like if you're that kind of gamer or not. But as exciting as E3 always is, when the dust kind of settles down and you look at it objectively, I do kind of feel like it's a down year. When you're comparing it to, years past where you talk about, these years where like, oh man, like 15 amazing games all came out this one year. So I don't think it's, necessarily like a super strong year for games.
It's going to be next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be, right? Next year is the biggest one of all time. But yeah, I mean, there's, looking through the list of like the hundreds of games that were announced and talked about, everybody should be able to pick out a dozen things minimum that they'd be interested in playing. So, yeah, I think we've kind of touched a little bit on each of the, various things that we're, kind of excited about.
Yeah, there's stuff out there for
Actually,
everybody.
Going through your list, I actually found one more we didn't talk about that is coming out this year that I'm definitely going to buy.
Okay.
Is Guilty Gear Xrd for the PlayStation.
You're a fighting game fan, though.
Yeah,
So.
it's a really good fighter. If you like 2D, like kind of traditional style fighters, it's definitely something to check out if you've never played them before.
There you go. Did you pick up Ultra Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition?
It's not out physically until August. Only the download's out right now.
Yeah, okay. I forget.
Oh, speaking of downloads, I know this isn't related to E3, but Guacamelee being free for gold members starting July 1 is genius. The game's amazing. Everyone with an Xbox One should get it. And Battle Block Theater in a couple of weeks. I'm going to make as many people download it as possible because the co-op on it's unbelievable.
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to those.
Platforming co-op from the Castle Crashers behemoth dudes. Oh, can't wait.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, everybody, that's our take on E3, and we'd like to hear what you guys think. Did we get it right? Are we totally missing the mark? Did we forget something?
You got it right.
Yeah, probably. But, if we totally skip something or whatnot, let us know. We'd like to hear from you.
I've got one quick question for each of you guys. I think I already have Krabby's answer.
Okay.
I was going to ask if there was one thing that you wanted to hear about that you didn't hear about. What was it? And Krabby, you already had mentioned
Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei.
Yep. And Chris, was there one thing you wanted to hear about that you didn't hear anything about?
Mass Effect.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Yeah.
I
they sort of said the word Mass Effect, but they didn't say anything.
Yeah. No.
Mass Effect.
They're basically like, oh, don't forget, we're gonna make one.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping, like, I kind of thought we wouldn't. I was kind of hoping to see like a snippet, like 8 seconds of Kingdom Hearts 3. But we know it's on the way. We've seen some footage already. So, I was just curious about you guys, what, you wanted to see and didn't see.
I think a lot of people felt like that about Final Fantasy 15 as well.
Yeah, nobody wants Final Fantasy 15.
I do. I'm really excited about it.
Oh,
I liked the trailer last year. I thought it was awesome.
Is that the one that Versus turned into?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Can we just? I don't know. Somebody put a stake in this thing's heart.
My number 2 after that, Bill, would be the Mirror's Edge. I was kind of like Duke, like they said it, but they didn't really show anything.
Oh,
right.
I want to change my answer. Can I change my answer?
Are you going to say something that's from Sony?
No.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Bravely Second.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Is that like Bravely Default?
It's the sequel to Bravely Default. Bravely Second.
Okay.
I thought somebody was going to say The Last Guardian,
Nope.
but
I would have liked to see that.
No. Bravely Second. I so am looking forward to that. I can't.
Bravely Default is still on my find this game and play it on your 3DS.
Oh, I want to beat you guys senseless until you play it. It's so good. But
Is it better than what's that princess game? The Atlas princess game? Code of Princess.
yeah, 10 million times. But
Really?
imagine like the best stuff of Final Fantasy 3 and 5 like slapped together, and it's great. It's
But
fantastic.
with an uglier art style.
Quiet. Go
That's
play
the
it.
only thing. The only reason I have not put it in is I think it looks horrendous.
It's about the gameplay. What's wrong with you? You should know that.
I do know that.
Did I show you guys the Cards Against Humanity card for one of the custom ones from PAX this year?
No.
It's got a bad word on it, so I don't know if I can say it out loud. But it's a white answer card from Cards Against Humanity, and one of the answers you can play is whatever Final Fantasy bullcrap happened this year.
There you go. I would be happy if they could just axe Final Fantasy and just make Bravely Default the new star. Well, then they'd probably just screw that up. So never mind.
Well, yeah, but
Never mind.
Bravely Default's out. It's not like, it would be different if it was not called Bravely Default. Like, can't you just be happy with, hey, Bravely Default's a thing now?
I would like a
keep it
console
going.
version. But then they would just screw it up and put zippers all over them, and it would be terrible.
Hey, Organization 13 in Kingdom Hearts are full of zippers, and that's a great game.
Oh, man, please make it stop.
Accessories.
Oh, you know who else we didn't hear from? Sakaguchi. We didn't hear anything.
I heard a thing
Sakaguchi.
today about him, right?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
You guys see that story?
Mistwalker?
No, it's Hironabu. There was just a thing I saw. It was just earlier today, and it was like, he's announcing something.
Let me guess, like TGS or something. He's going to have an announcement.
I think that might have been. I'm actually looking up now because I can't remember. Yes, he's set to announce his new game next week.
Makes sense. Cool.
Yes, so that will be a thing that is happening, and
Lost Odyssey 2?
oh man, could you
Be down
imagine
with that?
That
Be
would
down
have
with
been
that.
my winner of the show if that was announced.
Yeah, that would be great.
I love Lost Odyssey.
Blue Dragon 2?
I didn't even get that.
I'm ashamed. I bought it actually on your guys' recommendation. I still haven't played it.
You are so evil.
Yeah, but I've heard it's another one of those like 400-hour games.
It is a long game.
It is shorter than Xenoblade Chronicles by like half.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
40.
Okay.
If you don't do all the goofy side stuff
yeah.
you don't need to do. All right. Hey, man, great stuff. We could probably talk about this stuff for hours, but that's our wrap up of E3, and let us know how we did. All right, well, thanks everybody again for listening to us ramble on for hours on end. We really appreciate it. As you can tell, it's getting late for us too. We love doing these things. If nothing else, we love talking to each other, so it gives us an excuse to do a show.
I'd still do it if nobody listened.
Yeah, so would I.
I do it and nobody listens.
I can't believe as many people listen actually as they do. So that's why I always make sure to say thank you. So thank you very much. A couple things just to wrap up as usual. So a couple places people can find us. Bill, where can people locate the show if they want to?
I go to rfgeneration.com.
Because it's got all of the stuff.
It's got all the checklists. It's got all the people. It's got some threads. You can join. You can start your own thread.
We've got
You can
community.
reply to a thread.
Yeah, we've got community playthroughs now, right?
Yeah, community playthroughs are going very well. There's actually going to be I think the recording for the June community playthroughs with Suikoden and Shadow of the Colossus. Those are going to be recorded very soon. So we got another podcast from that group coming up. They have a very special guest. I won't ruin the surprise, but they do have a pretty special, pretty handsome guest joining them.
Their guest's a real
for
jerk.
that podcast.
That's what I heard.
No. Just give him a chance. Give him a chance. He's really, really cool.
And if you're listening to this, close to when we release the show, so the game's for July. They're going to be playing.
They got a good one.
Chrono Trigger.
And some other ones.
Yeah. Play.
Why do you guys hate Minecraft so much?
Oh.
My son has been playing it like crazy lately. He bought himself, he saved his money up for a long time and bought himself this hardcover, like how to play Minecraft book.
Oh, wow.
And today I was sitting there watching him, and he is sitting on the couch with the book in his lap, and he's like learning how to like breed different animal babies, and he's doing it on the screen and getting so excited that he made like all these little baby dogs and stuff on the game. It's cool to watch.
I just asked you that question, then I realized why you don't. One of the reasons you don't like it. There's no end to Minecraft, is there?
There is no end to Minecraft.
Okay, so that's part of it,
Right. So
I'm not usually really big on the creation stuff either. It really doesn't hit any of the genres I'm really fascinated with.
Okay.
So is he playing it on console or laptop or what?
Console, of course.
360? Okay.
Yeah. The PS3 version came out now, so I gotta try and bump him over, but the hard thing about that is his cousin plays it on the 360, so probably won't happen.
Just let him be.
I am letting him be, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying not to send all my biases onto my son.
So, so the retro playthrough is Chrono Trigger for July.
Yep.
Awesome.
Which is available, I believe, on all the systems ever.
Just about. There's a lot. And
Yep.
and the new stuff is some kind of computer crap that will just, whatever.
Yeah, so no, Minecraft's a very popular game, and if anyone's ever been curious about it, it's on 360, it's on PS3. I don't think it's coming out for the Xbox One until, what is it, July or August?
I think there's a PS4 version eventually, right?
Right, yeah, it's exclusive. It's a timed exclusive on Xbox One, but I don't think it's going to happen in time for the playthrough. But yeah, they're pretty cool. They set checkpoints. You try to play as other people are. You discuss the game with them. So yeah, we just wrapped up one of the most successful months ever as far as number of people who played the game. Lots of people played through Shadow of the Colossus, and had some good discussion in there. So yeah, RF Gen. That's where we are.
Suikoden had a good turnout too, from the looks of it.
Oh yeah,
the 108 Stars of Destiny. There you go. So yeah, and you can also track your collection over there. So if you're looking for a place to track your game collection, go for it.
Yeah.
Where else can people find the show, Crab?
The YouTubes.
Yes, you can definitely find us on YouTube. Just look for Collectorcast. You'll find us there. You can also find us on Podomatic. So you can download the Podomatic app. Find us on there. Where else, Bill?
You can Bing us.
You could Bing us. Yes, that's a thing.
I could refer you to Bing Rewards, and then you could sign up for Bing Rewards, and then we could both get some extra points.
Absolutely.
Still show up on my web crawler too.
You could ask Jeeves.
Alta Vista. That's what Jeeves said. My dad actually said that to me a few weeks ago, non-ironically, well, Ask Jeeves said this, and I said, tell me that site doesn't exist anymore.
Did they find? They can find the show on Lycos.
He might have been talking about Ask.com, which is slightly less terrible than non-ironically referencing Ask Jeeves. But yeah. So besides just shooting us a Bing, just binging us, you go to iTunes.
Yes, you can definitely go to iTunes and grab.
You got a review system there now.
Yeah, we would appreciate it if you would take the time. It's been a while.
Nice.
It's been a little while since we had our last review.
You know who's going to be the next person to leave a review?
I don't.
You.
We appreciate you doing that. Thank you.
Yeah. Everyone listening to that show just got freaked out, he was talking to me.
It's like it was just meant for me. Yeah. And you can also find us on Stitcher. Right? If you want to get us on Stitcher, you could definitely do that.
You say so.
We have some listeners on Stitcher, so.
Oh, do we? Thanks, listeners on Stitcher.
There you go.
What if you have a weird Android phone and your RSS feed is what you need for a podcast subscription?
Netscape?
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. Prodigy.
Good. CompuServe? Could that? What's the AT&T keyword for that? Or
AOL.
AOL keyword. No, seriously though, if I had an RSS feed, what would I do?
Well, if you go to collectorcast.com, I'm sure that you could just find the RSS feed right there.
Genius. It's almost like we make this too easy for you.
Yeah, it's almost like, why aren't you subscribed?
Yeah, it's a fundamental question in life. Krabby, can you think of anywhere else where people could find the show?
I always got to be the guy to say it. The pickle. Podcast pickle.
Well, yeah, I think we are doing well on the podcast pickle.
I thought he was going to say playing in the background at GameQuest.
I've looked at SoundCloud. I've tried to figure SoundCloud out, but I think they want my money.
I think they might.
And I'm already paying someone else. So, sorry, guys. If you want some SoundCloud, send me money. And sure.
Yeah, speaking of, the site is RF Generation and Collectorcast are both free.
To you, the listener.
Yeah, to you guys. It only costs us sweat and money.
And money. Yes, it costs us money. But if you want to give us money, like Russ did, you could do that.
Oh, man. I know you never want to mention, just a few people because then everyone else feels bad about like, oh well, what am I?
Russ is obviously better than you
guys.
Oh
man,
right?
Russ is so great. Russ, do you want to real quick to say what Russ did for you?
Yeah, we couldn't. Last year we went. Bill and I went out to too many games, and we have new babies, so we really couldn't do it this year. And they had some, of course, homebrew releases that were limited to the show. That they did that last year, they did this year, and Russ was awesome enough. He was at the show showing off his pretty awesome car, which I saw some pics of people randomly on Twitter, so I kind of forwarded those over to him. But he got the games for me. It was very nice. He went, grabbed them, and he's going to send me some copies over. So thank you very much, Russ. Appreciate that.
I think he said he was just going for the night too. Like it was kind of like last minute. The guy who runs the show gave him a pass to come down with the car, and he just drove down for I think that Saturday. So I saw Russ a few times the last month or so. So he's doing good. He's newly married, so congratulations. And he's I think he said his wife is a little baby crazy right now. So what he did was what any loving husband would do. He bought her a cat.
That's smart, man. Delay the inevitable.
Yeah.
Delay. But yes, if you want to donate to us, you can go to just collectorcast.com. There is a button right there. If you want to donate to RF Generation, it's a little trickier.
Just ask Russ how to do it. He'll explain it.
But you can go into the forum, and I think there's a donate button there.
Yes.
So it's a little more hidden, but you can still donate money. It's helpful. We appreciate it. And if they want to talk to us, right? If they actually, they say, "Boy, these guys sound great." If I could have a conversation with any of these guys, how would I go about doing that? Krabby, how could they talk to us?
On like Twitter and Facebook? Is that what you're alluding to?
They could. I think they would talk to me there.
Yes.
But you guys can get involved anytime you like.
Almost exclusively, you'd be talking with Chris.
Yes. You want to talk to us, you hit the forums at RF Gen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could also do
if
that.
If you wanted to talk to Duke on the phone, his cell number is...
Yeah, no. It's private.
7.
I have there's a few key people that have that number, but I'm really pretty boring to talk to anyway outside of this show, so you probably don't want to. But yes, Twitter, Facebook, Collectorcast. You can find us on there. And if you want to talk to Bill or Krabby...
you could even grab our gamer tags and all our pertinence on RF Gen and talk to us on Steam or Xbox or PSN or whatever we got.
Yeah, or you want to...
Actually, your gamer tag is not on the Xbox thread, Bill. I was looking for it the other night. I could only find Duke's.
Was it? Maybe it was deleted in because I definitely had it on there at some point. I'll throw it on there now.
The big loss. The big loss, maybe.
Yeah, we had a loss a while ago.
Mm-hmm. But definitely talk to us. Let us know. We appreciate all the feedback. It really does mean a lot to us. And
this is the longest outro ever.
It is. The listeners are thinking, just shut up. I want to turn.
Oh, they're not here.
they turned off like an hour ago.
Off 10 minutes ago.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks very much. That made no sense. Thanks everybody very much for listening to another show, and we will see you next time.
I'm going to move my chair a bit.
All right, you go with your bad self.
Kelsey, is Mario upset about Peach's affections in your Skype profile pic?
My Skype profile pic.
He looks like he's not that thrilled with her.
I can't see what pic I have. Is it the one? Is it like the Valentine's one where someone's like,
yeah? She looks pretty clingy, and he's like, ugh. Again with this chick.
He's like, where's Bowser when I need him?
Yeah, she's like, I'm in trouble again. When are you not in trouble?
Too high maintenance.
Mm-hmm.